technically live. Gresh, if you want to prepare a tweet saying that we're live now.
Okay. I'll just rip their image they just posted on their Twitter account.
Oh yeah! All right, so we are good to go. Alec, if you can corral anyone else that wants to join up. Snooper's gonna snoop, Alec.
Snooper's gonna snoop.
Shit's about to go ham in this show, bro. It's about to go ham. Chat, Snooper's gonna snoop.
I like how Grandpa DJ is up here.
Yeah, dude, it looks like he's about to bust a nut all over his controller. Like
he's about to have a fucking heart attack.
He's 19.
Yeah, he looks 19. Look at him. He looks like he's about to.
Isn't that like a thing now? Like people gray their hair.
Dude, his beard is
intentionally.
Gray. He's like full on Viking.
That's like my chin right now.
Oh.
I really only care about Diablo news. I'm pretty sure this is the first BlizzCon in like 3 years that they actually have like a set like Diablo, got like a ton of Diablo panels.
Yeah, I only care about Diablo. Don't fall asleep. I just woke up, bitches. Looking forward to Diablo. Looking forward to any new original IPs they might talk about. Looking forward to
I have a feeling they might
Diablo. Yeah.
I have a feeling they might show off D2 remastered. We'll see.
That would be cool. That would be something that I would say.
No, we would have to play that.
Oh yeah, we could immediately start building characters for bail runs.
Yeah, I'm here for World of Warcraft, but I'm always interested in what Blizzard is doing in other titles.
WoW isn't for me, but I understand why people like it, but it's just not for me.
I have over 10,000 hours in that game.
WoW or Diablo?
Wow.
Ugh. I have like
Dude,
50.
I started like playing on my buddy's account during the Friends and Family Alpha because he had an uncle or an aunt or something that worked for Blizzard, so he was able to get access. Dude, I've seriously been playing World of Warcraft since like 2003.
Yeah, I haven't played since whenever what was the name of that expansion? Warlords of Draenor came out. I quit before that came out.
Yeah, I got into this habit where I would go into an expansion, I would clear the first raid tier, and then I'd be like, I'm good until the next expansion.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty much the entire experience.
But I haven't played in like a year and a half until just recently when I picked it back up to stream on 5.9.
We're live playing special events, according to this tweet.
Hell yeah. I tagged everyone in Discord in the Twitch streaming category and the general gaming to join if they want to contribute.
Starts in 25 seconds. Okay, put the sound on.
Yeah, well, is it playing music still? It is playing some type of music still, so hold on. It's not a perfect time for ads. We can't play a 3-minute ad in 15 seconds.
Wow, 190 people are here. That's pretty good for this.
Everything else is pretty much good to go. Oh, I was going to make this a little bigger since there's only 3 of us so far. Alright, starts now.
Alright, put sound on.
It's right for you when you first lay eyes on it. It's such a great feeling.
The thing that happens is you start to feel the excitement just build up.
I'm thinking about it all the time,
Crip.
even in my sleep.
He helped me with my setup.
Bro, I watched him play Hearthstone for years. He still
I play
Twitch
video games
streams.
because I love stories.
Alright, enough with your motivational stuff. Let's get to the good stuff.
Yourself. I guess video games allow me to be what I can't. It's fiction, but it's not.
And come home, log onto your PC, and disappear into a different world.
I am a part of something bigger, a part of something beautiful.
I'm looking forward to Diablo stuff. Anything and everything Diablo.
Video games give me a place where I could be in a world that made sense to me.
Well, I will tell you that all of my family play
The thing I'm looking forward to the most is the release date, if they actually do that.
Computer 1 hour at a time.
저는 제 와이프랑 게임을 가장 많이 해요.
I'm really enjoying playing video games with my dad.
My children.
My little sister. That connection between video games, allowing us to converse with each other, added a lot to our relationship.
Games like the World of Warcraft let me meet people that I probably never would have.
I can honestly say I've
Enough of this motivational crap.
through playing games. We have this connection that allows us to share our joys, to share our achievements, to share our growth together.
Every time I'm able to achieve something, I'm able to make myself proud.
Gotta stress that point of togetherness during the pandemic.
Was one of my favorite memories.
I managed to find that one hidden pylon with my one Mutalisk.
We beat hardcore Inferno Diablo.
I'm also able to
That's not like Yong.
competitive in Overwatch.
That must
I
have been
had
Yong.
someone say, "Oh, I can't lose to a girl," and I beat that guy.
So I was able to slay this warlock as a little gnome holy priest, freaking out and screaming the whole time.
Adrenaline through my body was going crazy.
Pela caminhada ter sido tão prazerosa e pela conquista ter vindo.
A gente se sentiu muito, caramba, a gente conseguiu algo incrível aqui.
I killed the Lich King! I killed the Lich King!
当我夺冠的时候，现场的女性工作人员，包括男性工作人员，他们都哭了。
Many years ago, I was doing a quest in Tirikar Forest, and a lovely little mage came up and said, "Would you like a hand?" They helped me for the rest of the
Oh
day.
yeah, Twitch even says
We've been married
the
now
BlizzCon
for over a
opening
decade.
ceremony is now underway and
Those
free to
video games
attend. Go
filled the
grab
void.
your
They
seat
filled the
online or
friendships I didn't
co-stream
have.
it to
There
your
isn't
community.
a huge LGBTQIA
So yeah, we're good doing
plus
this.
community in my city.
Yep.
So when I was able to play a video game, I was able to start talking with people who didn't really care that I was a gay male.
But video games were my escape. When I was a teenager, my dad was diagnosed with ALS, and I looked to video games as a way to escape from that sort of reality. Everything happens for a reason, and I'm just glad video games were there for me.
I'll never stop playing video games.
There's no way.
I imagine myself one day being an 80-year-old grandpa gamer.
Playing video games has shaped me. I don't think I would be who I am today.
What did you type 14 minutes ago? What are your new experimental videos that you're trying?
Video games opened for me the world.
You'll see. I don't want to spoil it on live.
Can't wait to see what
Just
the
other
next
games,
generation-
period, or just like story time with Goresh type shit?
Like kind of both.
So you're trying to pad your watch time for other games by telling interesting stories to bait people in.
I mean, it's not really bait. Oh yeah, this is their 30th anniversary, isn't it?
Blizzard.
Welcome to BlizzCon Live.
Hey, to think you want it, but you don't, person.
30 years of Blizzard communities and 30 years of Blizzard games. 30 years is so many years. And last year maybe felt like one of the longest of all. But throughout the years of Blizzard Entertainment, from
Some
1991
fantastic script
to
writing.
today,
I really hate this guy.
many of us can associate
You
certain
and me
games
both.
with milestones in our lives. Maybe you were a little kid the first time you played The Lost Vikings. Or in high school when you first played a Diablo game. Or maybe you met your partner while you were playing World of Warcraft. That's the awesome thing about video games.
That's me.
They give us experiences that are relevant to the times in our lives and experiences that we carry forward with us. Games are here for us during good times, and they're here for us even when we feel alone or maybe uncertain. Games are coming home, familiar, comfortable, with a connection and a sense of belonging. And while many of us spent most of 2020 in our actual real-life homes, games became even more of a place to get away, to be free from outside concerns.
That's not wrong. He is a poorly animated character.
Even if just for a little while. So, this is pretty weird.
He kind of looks like he belongs in The Incredibles.
Usually, when we start BlizzCon, the opening call is
Kind
my
of looks like he
favorite
belongs in the
Warcraft
unemployment
faction,
line.
the Alliance.
You know why I hate this guy,
My
right?
favorite faction, the Horde.
It's because he's the guy who said you think you want it, but you don't.
Usually.
To
Right.
classic WoW servers. And everyone's like, no, I'm pretty sure we just want it.
Convention Center,
Mhm.
and millions
He's a
of
tool.
you around the world. And usually, that would be a perfect way to celebrate. But nothing about the last year has been usual.
He looks like the Buzz Lightyear movie guy.
Pandemic has been
You mean
hard
Buzz
on
Lightyear?
everyone, and for many different reasons. But if there's one thing that the last year has taught us,
Is to not announce
that
your game on
being
cell
apart
phone first.
physically doesn't stop us
Yeah.
from moving forward. It doesn't stop us from connecting with our player friends around the world, diving in as warriors and heroes, and checking on each other as humans. It doesn't stop us from sharing our latest epic
I miss
gaming
Chris
stories,
Metzen's opening ceremonies.
celebrating
It doesn't stop us from desecrating the butchered corpse of the company that came before us.
Dude, Chris Metzen's opening ceremonies were less like him telling jokes for like
honest,
20 minutes.
I wasn't sure how well
Not
Blizzard
this.
could work
This is like the
with
complete opposite of what his was like.
There are thousands of people, all needing to work together in creating our universes, games, and
I could open a show better than this, and I'm fucking boring.
never has it felt more true that it takes a Blizzard.
I just did a Sony video where I read 100 corny
In
jokes.
2020,
And it was better than this.
that the magic
It'd be funny
of
if some of the
creating
jokes
a
were
Blizzard
copyright and you got
isn't
claimed.
just tied to a
I
physical
don't, that would be even funnier. Yeah, you're
It's
right.
tied to the people who work here.
Like
And
Milton
I
Berle
continue
just
to
comes
be
from
so
the grave
proud
to copyright
of
you.
each and every one of them. Thank you, Blizzard. We create these games and pour all of our energy and heart into them. But it is you, the Blizzard community, that brings them to life. And that's why BlizzCon Line is a celebration of you, the guild leaders, healers, DPS, tanks, innkeepers, Zerg, Terran, Protoss,
All this damn cosplay shit.
Blackwatch, Shimada, the heroes of Sanctuary.
Some of this cosplay is fucking
and
epic, though.
Of the story.
Yeah, they're insane.
These next few days are for you, our Blizzard community. For World of
Wish
Warcraft,
my eyebrows stuck out 2
we'll
feet
be
off the
showing
side of
you
my face.
what's next for both Shadowlands and Classic. I'm sure you're all burning
get some extensions,
in
bro.
anticipation for that one. Hearthstone.
All right, so
is
you just
getting back
confirmed
to
Burning
its
Crusade,
roots
basically.
in a major way. We can't wait to show you how. We also have news
Come on.
for our Diablo community. Some of you were able to dip your toes into the depths of hell in the Diablo Immortal technical
No,
beta.
I don't care about that. Tell us about
Personally,
Diablo
I
4.
really enjoyed seeing players embrace the multiplayer aspect of meeting in town. We can't wait for more of you to get your hands on it. So, it's only the beginning of the year, and already there is so much to look forward to, even though we can't yet be together in person.
Think of all the
Overwatch
Chinese
League
money we're gonna
will be
make.
kicking things off in spring, and we'll be watching closely to see if the San Francisco Shock can continue their championship run. World of Warcraft esports is back with the Arena World Championship and Mythic Dungeon International already in full swing in Shadowlands.
Oh shit.
StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3 esports are going strong with our friends at the ESL Pro Tour. And qualifiers are already underway for the first online stop of the 2021 Hearthstone Masters Tour, with the first event taking place next month. But before we get too far ahead, let's take a look one last time to when times were a little simpler. In the early 1990s, the internet was a baby. CD sales had finally eclipsed cassette tapes.
Oh my God.
Cassette tape, it's a rectangle piece of plastic, and there's a tape inside, and music would get recorded on. And
All right, asshole, I lived through this. I don't need the history lesson. Let's move on.
it sounds crazy. We were all playing video games on Super Nintendo. Sega
How old do you think this
Genesis,
guy is? Like
DOS,
40s,
or
late
Mac
40s?
PCs. I personally was a master
Maybe
Big Sis
as old as
auto
early
tech back.
50s.
So many simple things in simple times. If only we could relive them.
This has to have some meaning to it.
Some arcade game. There's gonna be World of Warcraft on arcade.
Are they about to do something with like the Lost Vikings or some shit? Or Blackthorn or something like that?
Arcade collection, yeah. Blackthorn. Yep, there it is. Now
Lost
I'm
Vikings,
right.
Blackthorn, Rock and Roll Racing.
And Lost Vikings. These games are so old, bro.
I know.
When I was
Lost Vikings was so good though.
When I was not, I don't know if anyone in the chat remembers this because you got to be old as fuck. But when I was like 9 years old, my family went on vacation to like I don't know, like Disney World or some shit. And in the hotel, they had like an old CRT TV with like a controller, like a video game controller, bolted into the back of the TV.
Yep, I remember those.
And you could like use the controller to rent video games directly from the TV and play them while you're in the hotel.
I used to do that too.
Yeah, and this game was on there. Blackthorn was on there. Like, I remember playing those in hotels for the first time ever. Because my dad used to travel a lot and we'd have to go to like conferences and shit. You got
this guy who was announcing this probably wasn't even part of the company back when these games were developed.
Yeah, none of these people probably worked here.
The Blizzard Arcade Collection, featuring the Lost Vikings, Rock and Roll Racing, and Blackthorn. These are ports of the games, just as you
mean ROMs and emulators, huh?
allowing you to relive the original experience of all three titles in 13 different languages, with a couple of quality of life upgrades.
That's good. They better have
As an example,
QOLs, otherwise
we
they just download the ROM and
very
emulator.
modern, cutting-edge functionality
What the fuck is the
wasn't
point of
available in
this?
the early 90s, both saving and loading of games. And for those of you who purchased any Blizzard
Watch
Digital
those quality of
Anniversary
life
Bundle
improvements ruin the
via
gameplay
Battle.net,
too.
you'll automatically receive the Blizzard Arcade Collection on PC today. Now, you ready to hear about some other video games? Let's hear what's next for World
Those aren't
of
video
Warcraft.
games, those are ancient history.
No, do Diablo first, you fuck.
Did he say Warcraft? What did he say?
Yeah, World of Warcraft.
Only World of Warcraft actually looked cool. Like, if WoW actually looked as good, I'd probably play it.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today.
That dude drinks
No
thick
matter
water,
where you
y'all.
are, World of Warcraft unites us all. Whether you're exploring the Shadowlands, Classic Azeroth, or another part of the Blizzard universe, I'm glad you could make it. Because we've got a lot of good stuff to show you.
They don't even know who these people are. I used to know all these people.
Let's start with some
And like
Covenant Pride.
nobody even is left. The people I don't even know anymore.
Take flight. Night Fae, let the hunt begin. Necrolords, to war! Vintha, let's party. The world has thrown a lot at us since the last BlizzCon. And the thing that's really kept everyone going on the WoW team has been connecting with all of you. The bonds we forge with our guilds and family and friends in WoW are powerful and real. As WoW enters its 16th year and Blizzard celebrates its 30th anniversary, we're so grateful to have the most dedicated and
Alright,
friendly
if they actually announce Burning Crusade for the the classic servers, I'll play.
In WoW
I mean,
Classic,
no, it's
we
coming
fought an
sooner or
endless
later.
battle for South Shore and Tauren Mill. We banded together to open the gates of Anchorage and joined forces to take down Kel'Thuzad in his
I mean, they're
bloody
done with all the
citadel
classic
of
content. Like Naxxramas was the last raid that ever came out for classic. So there has to be next, unless they're gonna do original content for classic, which is not gonna happen.
Burning Crusade is 100% next.
Yeah.
We survived the halls of Torghast and crafted legendary gear in our efforts to expel Denathrius from his castle lair. But innocent souls are
I'm just
still
wondering if they're going to
wrongfully
force
being
all the
sent to
classic
Maw.
players to move
face
to
an
Burning Crusade.
eternity
Like,
of
is it going to be an
torment, and
expansion
heroes
for
like
Classic? And if
I think it's
so,
going
what's
to
the
be.
point of having fucking Classic?
No, it's got to be an expansion for classic. They're not gonna make separate servers for that.
Preparing to break free from the Maw and complete his plan.
That's going to piss off the people who just want to play Classic.
Actually, you're probably right.
And Sylvanas, you may be wondering what she's been up to all this time. Today, we're excited to unveil our first major content update for Shadowlands, Chains of Domination.
Oh, Nas, that's your thing, right?
What?
Chains of Domination.
Oh yeah.
Look around you.
I love domination.
What makes you believe you're
Punishment,
not just a weapon
self-torture.
to achieve his ends?
Enough.
Fucking Sylvanas, man.
Join our cause. Or be
She's got a
made
mini
to
Frostmourne.
serve.
Right now, you hold all the power.
Is that supposed to be
Make your
Arthas
choice.
or some shit?
No, it's Anduin.
Windrunner.
That's, yeah, King Variant's kid.
Despite all our efforts, the Maw continues to grow. What if Denathrius' treachery is irreparable?
Is that a fucking angel?
Magnus is lost, and Bastion cannot save the Shadowlands alone.
It's
From
a dark
Diablo?
elf.
None of this
No, it's
should have happened.
Perhaps the
Warcraft has gotten weird.
I can tell.
It's probably some like race of deities or some shit.
My Archon, a living soul, seeks an audience.
A mortal.
A king. By all our measures, one who has spent his life striving for justice.
What are you,
Hey,
Daddy?
Toon.
Who would give
Toon's in this game too. What the
to
fuck?
serve his people.
Here he is.
One whose heart is true.
Was that
Very
Variant?
well. He may approach. Step forward. My Ascended have spoken of you. The king held captive in the Maw.
That prison could not hold me forever.
Why have you come to Bastion?
You have a key that I need.
You will release this soul from your grasp.
No. He is bound to me.
Just as you once sought to bind your own brother.
What?
Sylvanas possessed him.
Oh.
And turned him into a Death Knight?
Is it supposed to be like the broken Frostmourne or something?
Dude, he just one-shot that god. The fuck?
Is that, God, why can't I think of the name of the weapon?
Performed its part flawlessly.
The fuck is that guy?
Then they will see.
I'm guessing it's the jailer.
Was never meant
Looks like Ner'zhul.
to be changed.
So this is a new expansion for the main Warcraft.
No. This is a new
Yes.
patch, not an expansion.
Oh.
Yeah.
A patch? They go through all that just
Yeah.
to fucking do a patch?
Yeah,
Dude,
it's like
the
a
patches,
content update.
The patches
yeah.
are huge content drops. They're not entire expansions, they're additions to expansions.
I know you probably have a lot of questions about what you just saw and what it means for the next stage of your Shadowlands journey.
It kind of did look like
Today, my
Thanos a little
teammates
bit.
Ian and Jeremy will be telling you more about Chains of Domination in our Shadowlands update. Please check out the World of Warcraft channel to find out more. Next, I'm excited to share our upcoming World of Warcraft charity pet program. We've heard a lot from our community about how much they love these pets and the opportunity to give to a good cause, along with ideas to make the program even better. So during this upcoming campaign, you'll be able to donate whatever amount you wish to directly support our chosen charity. Once donations reach our goal, everyone playing World of Warcraft will get a pet for their collection as a thank you, whether you were able to contribute personally or not. And to make this a fun challenge, if we reach a stretch goal, everyone gets a second pet too. And here they are. The first pet is bananas, literally. He was originally available to a
Bro,
select few back
they
in
need to
the Burning
update the
Crusade
fucking
era,
graphics
so we're
engine for
excited to
WoW.
give
What are you talking about? It looks realistic.
Yeah, look at it. Looks like Final Fantasy
If we reach our
VII.
stretch goal,
Like the
you'll also
original
get
one, not the remake.
Daisy the Sloth.
How about that
She's
one?
an all-new
That one looks a
pet
little
hang
better.
around your neck.
And I like
Well,
Sloth.
that one's new. The original one is from like 2006 or 2008 during the card game.
Doctors Without Borders.
Look at
So
the
it's actually a
difference
big deal
between
that it's a big deal that Bananas is coming back though, because he was only available through like a special code in a card game.
Hearthstone, you mean?
No, there was
He's
a
like
the
the
physical card game. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, he's like the Spectral Tiger version of the pad or something, right?
We sold those cards when I worked at GameStop like a lifetime ago.
Warcraft website soon. So we've talked quite a bit about Shadowlands.
How's it all
Classic
going?
players, now it's your turn.
So far, it's okay.
It's my pleasure to hand off to my teammate, Holly Longdale. She's a longtime WoW player, a veteran MMO developer, and she's going to tell us what's in store for WoW Classic.
Holly Longstocking?
Yeah, it was truth.
That was her. That was she said her name was.
Here's my prediction for this. They're gonna launch Burning Crusade as an expansion to Classic. They're gonna force people to upgrade, or they're just gonna upgrade, but they're gonna give people the option to remain on a Classic server. I think that's what's gonna happen.
Online worlds
Okay, let's
like
see.
WoW have been a huge part of our lives for decades now. As a dedicated MMO fan and a developer myself, I remember hearing that Blizzard
I
was
just
going to be making
don't
their
see him
own
pissing
MMO.
off the Classic
And
fan
I thought,
base.
well, I guess I'll check out that beta. And sure, we all call the game WoW, but really, wow.
God damn it, my rechargeable batteries are starting to last less than a day now.
Again, I was so excited to be able to make a Night Elf Hunter and be like that famous Dark Elf Ranger from the books that I loved. I have to tell you, Azeroth was.
This chick is pretty goddamn tall.
A place I
Nice
love
reference to Dritz Duerden in there.
last year.
There's nothing for you for reference. How can you tell?
Alongside the WoW Classic.
She said the Dark Elf Ranger that I grew up with.
No, I mean, how
was
do you tell?
from
How can you tell? How can you tell she's tall?
And a whole new generation of players. As a fan myself, I've had so much fun in WoW. From the simple things like drive-by buffing or making friends on that long haul from Teldrassil to Ironforge, all the way to the absolutely staggering, like when I jumped blindly through the dark portal and was running through Hellfire Peninsula, heard this terrifying noise, and then saw
She got hella legs though.
That's what I said. She's tall as shit.
biggest roamer
She has
I
to
had
be.
ever seen, and I was very glad I had feigned death in that moment. And that's the thing about WoW. These stories and experiences we all share keep us coming back time after time. With that said, I'm super excited to be able to
Here we
share
go.
with you where our adventures are taking us next.
All right, let's see how they do this. Yeah, this is the Burning Crusade cinematic. Next classic adventure. Uh-oh.
I love how they're treating it like it's a big reveal. You see the dark portal. We all know what this shit is. If they finish this with the "you are not prepared" bullshit, I'm gonna laugh my ass off.
I can't wait till they update Classic enough that it catches up with the regular games.
Then what's the point of Classic then? That was a really weird move on their part.
I feel like there's a certain point where they have to stop updating. Like they have to stop giving it, like catching up with the older DLCs. You know, I didn't play WoW. Like, I think I played WoW back when this stuff came out.
They just need to stop it at Wrath of the Lich King. That's when the game is fucking perfect.
Yeah, I mean, BC was pretty damn good too. I want to see how they do actually implement this.
Your foolish
Karazhan.
has brought you to this end. Take my blood
Back
and
third
choke
on.
on it.
Get to the outside.
Serpentine Cavern,
I'll turn your world
Tempest Keep.
upside down.
This is the Burning Crusade that you said you'd actually play if they brought.
Yeah, it looks like I'm playing. They did end with it.
We are prepared. This happened a decade and a half ago, you fucks.
Burning Crusade Classic. This year, okay.
It does make me want to play Classic a lot.
How are they doing this?
There's no way
back
people
so
have to pay
many
for this.
memories, right? Like exploring the fungal forests of Zangarmarsh, or being awestruck at the chaotic magic alive in Netherstorm, the Draenei in Exodar, the Blood Elves in Silvermoon. I love playing them both. Do you choose to enlist the Aldor or the Scryers in your quest to fight the Legion? And of course, we can't forget
the beginning of dailies.
gathering all your friends to fight
Shatrath
Illidan at
dailies.
the top of the Black Temple. I can't wait to relive it all with you. Since the team first set out on their own quest to bring the original WoW back to life, we have learned a ton about what players are expecting from this kind of experience. We've also learned when to keep things just as they were, and where we all might be open to some changes. We're bringing all these lessons into Burning Crusade Classic. With our primary goal
What does that
to bring
mean?
back the same feeling you had when you faced the Fel Reaver for the first time, or when you were digging through piles of Felhound poop. Of course, we can't get this right without you, our incredible community. Soon, you'll be able to revisit
It's going to take 4 hours to run a Heroic Shadow Labs again.
And tell us what you think.
Yep.
Later,
Shattered Halls, that one pull
all
that like is
Classic
impossible.
Players are going to be presented with a meaningful choice for each one of your beloved characters. Do you want to move on into Burning Crusade Classic? Or do you want to stay in the original Classic era
okay.
forever? Whatever you decide, you can do it all with your one WoW subscription.
Wait,
Now,
you can
I know
forcibly
I've thrown a
ignore
lot at
the
you, but don't worry.
expansion and just
We'll be
stay in
getting
a
into the
third
details
server
in
that's
our
only
panel later
classic?
today. So
Yep,
stick
that's
with
what it
us.
sounds like.
We'll make sure
Okay, I
you
mean,
are prepared.
it's kind of cool.
And now we're gonna hear
I knew they wouldn't
what's
piss
coming
off the
up in
people who just
Hearthstone.
wanted the vanilla base experience.
This is Hearthstone.
This is yawn is all get out. Hearthstone.
I mean, I used to play this game religiously every day.
Me too.
Greetings.
Who the fuck is
Truly
that?
excited to share with you everything that's going to Hearthstone this year.
Game director? I don't even know who that is.
Let's take a quick
It's
look
because
back
the other guy
at the
quit.
year.
Yeah, Ben Bro, the best one ever.
Yeah, he quit and started his own studio.
The Demon Hunter.
Yeah, probably the correct move.
The ruthless Outlands. Then we went to Skullman's Academy and got to explore dual class.
And then Mike Morheim was like, hey, that's a great idea. I'm going to do the same thing.
And with our third expansion of the year, we brought you Hearthstone's biggest update ever, alongside the menacing old gods in Madness at the Dark Moon Fair. We launched a brand new game mode, Duels, that saw more than 10 million matches on its first day. We also introduced our long-awaited achievement system and made a significant overhaul to the rewards and progression within the game. Now, it's time to say farewell to the Year of the Phoenix and see what's in store for Hearthstone this year. Welcome to the Year of the Griffin.
I used to
Over
play
the
a lot
last
of
couple
Hearthstone
years,
back in the day.
We've made big changes to Hearthstone. Throughout the Year of the Griffin,
Does that say there's almost 300,000 people watching the YouTube?
experiences and make sure
Holy shit.
that the
There was like
tens of millions
1.4
of you
million people
playing
watching the
Hearthstone
Nintendo thing
are
the other
always
day.
excited to log in. First up,
Right, but they also have this split up amongst 5 different channels.
shake-up ever.
Yeah, this is also on
With
Twitch
the
as well.
launch of the core set later this year. The core set replaces the old basic and classic sets.
On
with a
Twitch, it's
collection of
154,000.
235 cards made up of some of the best from throughout the years, as well as 29 awesome brand new cards. And the best thing about the core set,
Did you say 29
it's
cards?
entirely free.
That's it?
There's never been a better time to get into Hearthstone. Here are
Hey, maybe
They're
I'll
also
start playing
changing
again.
how the seasons work.
They're just
Feel
making
more
a.
up-to-date
They're
and
pushing
connected
standard
to
into
modern
wild and making a new standard format.
Ysera the Dreamer. You'll
Yeah, with a
finally
limited
see
rotating
her
card set.
full arsenal of dream cards right away.
It says they're all free.
She's
I
a
don't know.
knight
Maybe I'll play again because that's the biggest gatekeep for me in card games. Is like I'll play for a while, then fall off, and a shitload of new cards will come out, and I don't have any of them, and then I feel like I can't compete, so I just don't play again.
Worthy.
Just be like me and have a full golden deck of every single class.
Everyone's favorite.
You have all your
Doesn't
gold
that
cards in
surprise me?
Hearthstone?
Yeah.
That's because you're a whale.
He's still as destructive
Nah,
as ever,
I'm free to play.
but timed
Bullshit.
correctly,
That's Criparian level shit right there, having everything gold, bro.
Brand new format.
I have the golden coin.
I have like 10 of the cards that I use gold, maybe.
The classic format will be
I would
fully supported.
disenchant gold cards, like intentionally,
Using Hearthstone's
because then I would use them to like buy other cards. So like, especially if I already had like 2 copies of the card, I'd disenchant the gold ones to have the dust to make other cards.
With classic revisiting the past. Now, let's take a look to the future.
Kind of like stickers in Dokkan. I don't give 2 fucks if my digital card collection is pretty.
I want to get to Legend rank.
Here's the expansion.
I want to get to Legend rank with my secret paladin again.
Of the Horde. All roads lead to the crossroads.
The Baron's Crossroads? Is that what this is about?
Just imagine what the chat's gonna be like.
Mankirk's wife. It's gotta be a card, right?
Your act must be
Mankirk at least.
Your wits must be keen. And your heart must be mighty. Strength and honor. This is who we are.
Barons. Okay. Just show Mankirk's wife as the legendary.
One of Warcraft's most iconic locales, the Barons, and will come face to face with the heroes that inhabit it. Starting with one of the Horde's most iconic and well-known characters, a fierce loyalist, one-time war chief that embodies the honor, loyalty, and spirituality of the Horde, Shadowhunter Vol'jin. Shadowhunter Vol'jin is a neutral legendary that allows you to either bolster your own board or weaken that of your opponents. And to celebrate the announcement of Forged in the Barrens, this card is available for free for everyone later today. So log into Hearthstone and claim your free copy of Shadowhunter Vol'jin. And as a bonus, we're also giving away the brand new 30 Years of Blizzard card back. Next, another hero of the Horde, who's making his first appearance in Hearthstone. The legendary Blade Master,
Samura, okay.
featuring the new keyword, Frenzy. Frenzy activates the first time a minion takes damage and survives. In Samura's case, this can be used to clear your opponent's board.
Hearthstone!
Like Samura, are famous for their combat prowess, but others, like Thrall, are known for their powerful elemental magic. Take a look at this new shaman spell, Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning is a spell in a new cycle of cards that rank up and become more powerful when you have 5 and 10 mana, ensuring that they're always useful at every stage in the game. You'll also notice that they're categorized as nature spells. With Forged in the Barrens, we'll be permanently introducing spell schools across the entire game.
The fuck?
Which enables a whole
It's like
host
magic,
of
where there'll be actually like plains, mountains,
and
swamps.
don't worry, members of the Alliance will be featuring some of your most
It's like completely
beloved
changing the whole
heroes and
game.
locales
Might be a
later
good time to
this
start it over, play it a little bit. I don't know.
But what I love most
So I
about
can
the
dust
Warcraft
off my legend card
is its
bag.
amazing characters. And our final announcement is our most ambitious addition to Hearthstone yet. It introduces a brand new way to play
Huh?
with your favorite heroes.
DB Legends, take notes.
Hearthstone Mercenaries.
What is this?
Mercenaries features strategic RPG gameplay.
What?
Where you build teams consisting of some of the most iconic heroes and villains from the Warcraft universe.
Toshi, where are you at?
Timeless characters like the infamous Sylvanas Windrunner. And Ragnaros, the elemental
Why is he a little fire baby on the left?
Because it probably grows up, I don't know.
Hearthstone's fan favorites, like the unstoppable Devilsaur, King Crush.
Oh, baby.
They like awaken.
Gruul the Dragon Slayer. You'll lead them in battle through highly replayable roguelike missions.
What?
Where the map is randomly generated every time you play, and each node represents a unique challenge for your team to take
The
on.
fuck is this game?
This looks cool.
New abilities.
Toshi, what to learn?
Could even evolve into more powerful versions of themselves. We're thrilled to finally show you Hearthstone Mercenaries. It is scheduled to launch.
Yes,
later
Rage
this
Juice
year.
Legends, take
And
fucking
we'll have
notes.
more to share with you down the road. Everything you've seen today is just a taste of what's coming in the Year of the Griffin. So don't forget to tune in to our deep dive panel after the opening ceremony.
Interesting.
Those were like LR Ragnaros, yo. Is
the new classic format,
UR,
Force in the
TUR, and
Barrens,
LR.
and our plans for Battlegrounds and Duels, as well as our upcoming single-player content. I want to thank the team for their
Hearthstone is
amazing
mobile
work.
and
And on
PC.
behalf of all of us at Hearthstone,
Hey, Hearthstone,
we want to thank the
I'm
many
downloading you
millions
now.
of you who
Yeah,
play
I'm
our
about to
game.
read down the Hearthstone too.
Your dedication and support is what drives us to make awesome updates and pursue ambitious and fun ideas. We can't wait.
Lemon,
to
every
launch
video
Year of
game in the
Griffin
world
with
borrows
all
from
of
other
you,
video games.
and
There's
we hope
nothing
to see
original
you
anymore.
In the game soon. Next up, you'll get an update on all things Diablo.
Name me the last.
Yes. Okay. Wait. Shut up. This is the actual important one.
Oh, Diablo? Yeah, this is the good stuff. Ah, death. What the fuck is that?
That's the new villain in Diablo 4.
What the fuck was that? Is that Diablo a woman now?
Thank you very much for joining
No,
us.
that's
I am
fuck, I
so
forgot her name.
excited to kick off the Diablo segment of our show, and I am honored to be here on behalf of all of our Diablo teams to share the news and updates we have in store for you today. We've got a lot of Diablo to cover, and I hope you'll agree with me that it's a great time to be a member of this community. All right, let's kick things off with Diablo 4.
Yes. Come on.
We first shared our game with you during Blizzcon of 2019, and we've
Yeah.
been truly humbled by your response.
Uh-huh.
We've kept in touch through quarterly
No DC
updates
gameplay,
and
man.
sincerely
Nope,
appreciate
none,
the thoughts
never.
and valuable feedback you've provided as we unveil more and more of the game and share in its development. After all, Diablo belongs to you as much as it belongs to us. Most recently,
No, Dondre,
we teased
I'm not
an
playing it.
update to our campfire screen. And savvy fans, of course, understood that we meant more than just the character lighting and fire visual effects. That's right. Today, we're happy to announce a brave new soul joining the barbarian, the sorcerer, and the druid on this dangerous journey back to
Are they
sanctuary.
revealing the next class?
A class is one of the most exciting things you can announce in a
Necromancer?
Yeah, give me Necromancer back.
This one is especially exciting to me as it's a re-envisioning of one of the first classes to
Okay.
ever appear in the series.
Amazon?
Let's have a
It's
look.
got to be Amazon, Crusader, or Sorcerer. Those were the only three in the original. It's got to be Amazon. Because in the first one, you only had
Oh, it's Crusader. It's Crusader.
Because yeah, those are the only three. You had Warrior, Mage, and the Rogue in the first one. That's it, right? Yeah, if I remember correctly.
This has to be Crusader.
I can't hear. You're talking too quiet.
Oh, you muted it.
May Akarat guide and
It was following my mouse cursor.
May he shepherd my soul
may he shepherd my soul.
and grant it.
The Pope is the new character?
Yeah.
And granted mercy.
Yep, that's Amazon. Or Demon Hunter.
Is not the time.
But this is confession.
A Necromancer? What is this?
Sinned. I was a thief who stole from those more fortunate. I strayed from your light and found my trade in the shadows.
It is an Amazon.
Yep.
They call it murder. I say,
A rogue.
job well done.
Oh, fuck, dude, that would hurt so bad.
Jesus.
Oh, he dead. Pierced both lungs right there.
I am a thief, a heretic, a murderer, father. Will Akarat Save me.
You mock our light. But those monsters were a scourge upon my flock. And you were the answer to their prayers.
Then we are settled. And you owe me.
The name you seek is...
Oh!
Thank the heavens for you.
Heavens.
She's missing her ear
Show you,
too.
Father. The heavens didn't send me.
Amazon.
Rogue.
Rogue. Okay.
They said they were blending like two classes together. Yeah. That literally looks like Altair from Assassin's Creed.
Oh, is this Diablo?
Yeah.
We're at the good stuff now. Not gonna lie, this gameplay looks pretty fun.
It does look very, very fun.
Caltrop! That was something the Demon Hunter had, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Alright, release date, please.
Good luck with that.
Oh.
Jeez. Like a collection. Okay.
I mean, you don't have a closet like that?
The sound of that ear getting pierced by the hook is so brutal. I feel like it's gonna haunt me for a long time. I've been a huge fan of the Rogue ever since the original Diablo. Even seeing them come back as NPCs and mercenaries in Diablo II's Rogue Encampment served as a great bridge between the games. With the setting of Diablo IV being a larger world than we've ever played in before, we're excited to show you not just what the successors to the original rogues in the series have been up to since the fall of their order, but also what some of the other rogues in the world of Sanctuary might look like. The mantra for Diablo IV has been customization first, and the Rogue takes this to a whole new level. From the beginning, the Rogue has been an incredibly flexible class, able to adapt to any situation. Our goal is to let you create the kind of Rogue that you want to play. Whether it's an unrivaled archer modeled after the original Sisterhood, or a cloak and dagger rogue from the darkest alleys of Chaldeum, in Diablo IV, you will have the freedom to create the Rogue that you imagine by customizing the looks, the background, and the playstyle of your character. Please stick around for our segment later today, where I'll be joined by other members of the Diablo IV team to share a closer look at the Rogue class, as well as some of the open world gameplay that we're bringing to the game. Spoilers,
Nice.
those severed ears are not just for show. But Diablo IV is not the only Diablo game we're talking about today. If you're looking for an authentic Diablo experience on mobile, we've got you covered.
Don't you have phones?
Diablo Immortal has everything you'd expect from a AAA action RPG. From the visceral combat and epic loot to an all-new story, bridging the gap between the events of Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. Later today, you can join the Immortal team, where they'll talk about some of the things they've learned from their recent alpha test and what's next for the game. But that's still not all. We have one last bit of very exciting Diablo news to cover. When you hear us talk about the classes, the items, or the stories of the early Diablo games, you may have picked up on the absolute reverent tone we reserve for that golden era of Diablo.
Remastered.
Diablo 2 Remastered.
Share that love of the classics.
Remastered.
Diablo 2 Remastered.
Let's talk about them. Makes you want to take on Mephisto or Baal one more time, or maybe even for the first time.
Diablo 2 Remastered.
Some of our favorite moments happened a long time ago, and not just in century years. If so, we have a special surprise for you today. Let's check it out.
Oh, please. What if it was Diablo 1 and 2 mashed up remastered?
No, dude, this is Diablo 3 remastered.
Is that the Soul Stone?
Now you know what I seek, Marius. Are these the demons from... Don't do it! It seems you are
2! This is number 2!
Overwatch 2?
Oh, dude, I'm so stoked.
All the Tristram theme?
I'm so stoked. I'm even more stoked for this than the 4.
It may yet be your greatest moment.
Wait, what all did they change, though? Remastered!
Wow, this looks really good,
Oh
actually.
my goodness! It's beautiful! Oh my gosh, the frame rate! Dude. Chat, you better get ready to see a whole lot of streams of this. And console? With cross progression, huh?
Oh, shut the hell up.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Bro. Look at how good Mephisto looks!
Yeah.
The werewolf looks so good! Diablo looks good! Where's Bale? Show Bale. Oh. This is the expansion too?
Resurrected. Nice.
That better have. He said Bale fighting Bale again, right?
This year too. Oh shit.
Diablo, you can sign up for a tech alpha.
After more than 20 years, the Dark One.
Diablo 2 Resurrected.
And once again, he travels east. Always east. Diablo 2 is a landmark game for Blizzard. Diablo 2 Resurrected is a full HD remaster of both the original game
and
the
Lord of Destruction?
Lord of Destruction.
Yes!
It
Oh,
takes
God.
the 2D sprite-based classic that we love and brings it into the present in 3D, utilizing up-to-date graphical rendering and lighting technologies. It also includes modernizing all 27 minutes of cinematics, recreated shot for shot with the explicit intention of preserving both the look and the pacing of the original movies. Blizzard has a long history of games that we're proud of. And when we think about Diablo 2, we think about it as a definitive pillar in our foundation.
My childhood!
Now,
My
I
childhood!
to think that some of you weren't even born when D2 was released, which makes it all the more important that we deliver an authentic experience wherever you play. We want everyone to relive their memories or experience the game for the very first time on their platform of choice.
I'm playing a
So
fucking
we're
DC
excited
girls.
to bring Diablo 2 Resurrected to PC and console, along with cross progression.
This is my favorite game of almost
Those
all
of you
time, Crowwood.
Are in love with the original, and you just wish it worked.
Dude, cross progression's
seamlessly on
huge.
modern computers.
Yeah, that's really
You
good.
can bring back all of that nostalgia exactly as you remember, and enjoy the game in its original 2D form, much like we did with StarCraft Remastered.
So you can choose how you want to play.
There's a lot to talk about.
What, like the old aesthetic or the
Later
new one?
today,
Yeah.
Diablo speedrunner Mr. Llama will host a roundtable with members of the development team on the dedicated Diablo channel. If you are a Diablo 2 fan, I encourage you to take a look. So, from Diablo 2 Resurrected to Burning Crusade Classic to the Blizzard Arcade.
That was actually a really good opening
Looking
ceremony.
back. And while we have teams
Diablo
dedicated
2
to
is so
bringing
good.
these timeless experiences into your hands, it's actually a very small percentage of our developers working on these projects.
All right, we got the Diablo 4 What's Next panel in like 10 minutes.
And in addition,
Yeah, how long is this
what
going,
we'll
like, all
talk
night?
about during the show. We can't wait to tell you
It's going until 1 second.
over the course
Oh
of
shit, I think
this
I
year
deleted the
and
schedule.
beyond. If you had asked us
It's going
30
pretty
years
long.
ago what gaming would look
Okay.
like today, none of us could have predicted the current Blizzard lineup.
Overwatch.
The advances in technology are one thing, but it's really what those advances have enabled that's even more incredible. If you think about the people who play games and the communities that have grown up around them, the way people can connect instantly, no matter where they are in the world, the way people are increasingly able to express their identity and celebrate who they are through their favorite games, communities, and platforms. The explosion of things like streaming, cosplay, and esports. It would have been
Bro, they're re-rendering all 27 minutes of the cinematics from Diablo 2 also.
That is what excites
looks
us
so good.
about the next 30 years. There is so much that we're working on. And some of it you already know about. The rest, we look forward to talking to you about it when the time is right. Just like the real world.
You can submit questions for live Q&A.
Diablo, StarCraft.
They're running on like 5 different channels until 8:40 p.m. Eastern, all with different programs on it. There's a Diablo channel that's showing nothing but Diablo stuff.
We are not only
So what is that? 2 more hours?
Experiences that you've come to expect from us. We're also exploring different ways to express our worlds and welcome more players.
All right, what question should I ask?
Places into them.
Release date? Question mark?
To continue to lead.
Yeah, I mean they're not going to answer that.
Accessibility.
They'll probably give some vague. Oh, I know you're excited for the release date. It'll come in late 2021.
That have a positive impact on the real world. We want to continue.
Yeah, it's like
those same feelings
2.5 hours or something like that left to go.
Diablo 2 Resurrected is $39.99.
Will be Diablo on hardcore mode. Because when we geek out on those experiences with others, we can't help but see the similarities between us.
Their website says Diablo 2 Resurrected will be released on or before December 2021.
There are new Blizzard worlds that we haven't visited quite yet.
What does that mean?
That's what I wanted to say. I wanted to see new original games.
Our hope is that you will see in them what we do. That no matter who you are or where you're from, they are spaces where you can create new stories, forge new friendships, and make memories worthy of lasting a lifetime. And through it all, our mission statement of being dedicated to
I submitted a question.
the most
What
epic
was your question?
experiences.
I said, what was the main thing you guys focused on for D4 development after the feedback you received from D3?
Continue to guide our way. So on behalf
Was there like a website where you can fill this out, like a Google Doc or something?
They made a tweet and you just filled a form.
It is the honor of my professional life to serve you, and the honor of all of us at Blizzard to be the caretakers of the worlds that you play in. We are so excited for what's to come this year, next year, and the next 30 years. Now, what's coming next for the show? Well, it depends on where you watch. For those of you looking for an update on Overwatch, check out the behind-the-scenes look into the development of Overwatch 2 over on their dedicated channel right after the conclusion of opening ceremonies.
What?
Okay, let's go.
You'll hear about Overwatch 2, new content, new features, including new maps, hero missions.
You got a link, bro?
Wait, just wait.
What we think will make Overwatch 2 a unique gameplay experience. For World of Warcraft, Diablo, and Hearthstone, you'll get a closer look on their respective channels.
Go to Diablo right now.
And on the dedicated
Wait, but Overwatch.
Wait.
Will be going
Okay, you do that. I'm gonna go to Overwatch, and then we'll just cover news.
Once again, welcome to Blizzcon Live. Be good to one another. Welcome home. Before we kick things off, here's a little something from a previous BlizzCon headliner.
Hey, thanks for having us. We're Metallica. Thanks for having us at BlizzCon 2014. We would love to be
3
there this
p.m.
year.
Dude, they have shit
Obviously
running on
can't
all
be.
these channels all day.
Yeah, dude, just literally just stay on the Diablo channel the whole fucking time.
Well, people are gonna want to see Overwatch. Oh wait, no, fuck. We're not playing no goddamn Metallica on Twitch.
They gotta give us warning before that. Jeez.
The fact that they said, "Hi, I'm from Metallica," was your warning. Good catch,
Okay.
Nas.
So
I just
it looks
heard,
like on the
I'm
Overwatch
James
channel it's
Hetfield.
coming up.
No, with all your bullshit.
DMCA.
What was the third channel he said? There was Diablo, Overwatch.
There's six channels. Give me
So
just
what
a
are the
second.
channels? Okay.
Give me.
What-
Okay.
there's-
So.
Hearthstone has its own one too?
Yep, there's the Blizzard channel, the World of Warcraft channel, the Hearthstone channel, the Diablo channel, the Overwatch channel, and a strategy channel.
There's
A
no
strategy.
Hearthstone doesn't have its own channel.
Oh, on Twitter they posted a
It's
video
probably
from
on Twitch.
Oh, hold on, I'm gonna mute myself for a second.
Oh, here we go. I have like 4 different songs running. I think not.
If you run 4 at once, they can't claim you for any single one.
It's just gonna sound like. All right, what was the other ones, Alec? There's Diablo, Overwatch,
Yep,
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone, World of Warcraft, Blizzard, and then a channel called Strategy. But I don't have links to any of the channels. I'm just on the
What the
actual
hell is
Blizzard
strategy?
schedule.
What is that?
I'm no. It talks about StarCraft and shit.
There we go.
I don't even know how to find that channel. If I just type strategy into YouTube, it's gonna.
Yeah, I think we're good with these
Hold on a
5
second.
then.
Yeah, I don't.
The Diablo 4 deep dive is coming up soon, so we definitely have to go watch that.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Just give me 1 second.
Do we really need like the Hearthstone one up though?
Yes, I like Hearthstone. Yes, absolutely.
Oh boy, new expansion.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
So, I'm going to put the link to the schedule in.
Yeah, for some reason I removed it. I don't know why.
General chat and general gaming.
Okay.
What did I ask?
Troko, are you here?
Yeah, and I'm being bullied by Chad already.
Yeah, I was like,
It's sad.
chat wants you
All right. Well,
here.
what we can do is can't we just watch the Diablo one and then go watch some other one?
I'm having
Yeah,
all
they're-
5 of them up on screen at the same time, and when
Fuck,
interesting.
dude. No, because god damn it,
Well,
it has Diablo 4 What's Next, and then it has General Diablo What's Next right after that.
Yeah, we can just watch that one in a bigger screen than all the rest of them. Keep the other ones just in the corner, so if something.
Dude,
what?
the Diablo 2 Resurrected deep dive is 50 minutes.
Dang.
Yeah,
It's on the
not
main.
gonna- Diablo.
It's on the main stage.
Yeah, Diablo's like the core of what's going on at BlizzCon this year.
Jesus Christ, that's never happened before ever. I don't think. At least not that I can remember.
No, go away, Metallica. I love you, but I can't fuck with you right now. Sorry, Overwatch fans, but I really don't give a shit about Overwatch. Dude, go away, search bar. Stop.
I feel like if they had something, I feel like if they had something mega hype to announce for, they would have talked about it in the opening ceremony anyway.
Yeah, Overwatch was the only game they really didn't talk about directly, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and StarCraft.
Hopefully
Yeah,
they'll
it's
have a
probably
release date today, though.
No, what the
If they were going to have a release date, you'd think that they would at least bring it up during
Yeah.
the opening ceremony. So,
Yeah.
like the fact that they didn't talk about Overwatch or StarCraft at all makes me think that there's probably not much in the way of movement on either of those titles.
StarCraft has kind of been like in the Diablo zone for a while.
Well, you know, they're so great at making games, they can only make one every like 8 years.
Oh, there we go. Same card too.
Can believe they actually got Carbot to do something. Like, I remember when this used to be a YouTube channel with like not that many subs. No, I don't hear any sound.
Yeah, what the fuck is this? Is this? They were playing Metallica last time I checked.
For
Oh no, chat. This will not cause my PC to explode. This is just a normal day. Just a normal day.
What can I do for you? What can I do for you?
What can I do for you?
What can I do for you? What can I do?
Your death will.
So many of it up.
Morta Vespa Gaia Inu.
Help! Help!
What can I do for you? Emote win.
Strike with great vengeance!
You are not prepared. Frostmourne hungers for your soul. Your time has come. Strange.
Greetings to you. Seems you're ready for the real thing.
Haha, nice.
Watch your
Hey, look at me.
Oh, looks like we got an audience.
I'm getting good at this. I am in the groove.
turret online.
This is like animation to go through the whole history of Blizzard. All right, now is the Diablo thing starting right now.
All right. Well, as soon as I figure out which window that is, I'll unmute it.
I got some phone calls I gotta make. I'm gonna dip.
All right.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Diablo channel here at Blizzcon Line. I'm Rod Ferguson, the new executive producer of the Diablo franchise.
I just watched this on Twitter.
I feel very lucky to be here with you today.
Which
I
one
can't
is
see
it?
that on the Discord, by the way. You're sharing the wrong screen.
Which one? You just want me to share only the Diablo one?
On Discord? Yeah, that's what I'm watching.
Yeah.
Change windows. I don't know which one is which. World of Warcraft.
Alright
is the
guys,
top
I'll be
right.
back when there's Overwatch news.
Okay.
I think this is the right one.
Diablo Immortal,
Yeah, it is.
and announced today, Diablo 2 Resurrected. First up is our Diablo 4 deep dive, followed by a visit from a very dear old friend. Trust me when I say you'll want to stay a while and listen.
Stay a while and listen.
Ever since we announced Diablo 4 at last BlizzCon 2019, we've been sharing updates with you guys through our blog, whether it's items, skills, zones, even user interface updates, and you guys seem to have really enjoyed that. Today, to mark the
why the
special
fuck are they
occasion
doing this
of
like
BlizzCon
this?
Line on Blizzard's 30th
Like, how the fuck are you
anniversary,
supposed to follow
rather
this
than
if you're a
doing
fan
a
of
blog,
multiple of their
we're
games?
actually going to share lots of
I don't
video,
know.
introduce a new class. Like
Well,
we
I
saw
want to
in
hear what they're
opening
saying about
ceremonies.
Hearthstone too, but
And
I
also
like, what
cover
the
some
fuck?
open world topics, including
can go back
mounts,
and watch that
camps,
later.
and PvP.
Yeah, this is like the ultimate blog post, right? We get to actually hand deliver it. This is the dream. It's all finally out there, and we can talk about all of it.
Just in case some of you guys missed it during opening ceremony, let's take another look at the Rogue Announce video.
Since they're watching that again, let's just try listening to everything at once, shall we?
So,
Oh my God.
I completely lost my time for weeks.
No, it's not gonna work.
I remember
Overwatch 2, so it's the first expansion ever. It's our first expansion ever.
Sound good, chat?
So all the new features.
all of our
were just
players at
awesome.
home want to see one of the
What's
new
coming
maps
next? What's
that's
happening
never
next?
talked about
One of the things that
Really?
Well,
before
we begin our
people screaming in the background.
just talk about
brief
anything that I want to.
I mean, as an advocate
You're
here myself,
serving this up to the guy that
going
is
back and
unintentionally
trying to fight
leaked
Shaman, I was
information in
expecting
past.
and just not understanding that class at all. Because
We can do it officially now. Okay. So, one of the maps that I'm most excited for in Overwatch 2 is our
like now I started like got to see totems being placed down on my side for one.
So 2 of the screens are showing the same thing.
I think that's just the main channel mirroring one
Yeah,
of the
it
other
is,
ones.
but you don't have to show one of them. Like, you can just not show one of them.
What if it starts doing something different? Which one? Can someone link me the strategy one that's talking about StarCraft?
Strength and honor.
Why is Hearthstone so loud?
We are.
Hearthstone.
Forged in the
I have
Barrens is
Diablo
Hearthstone's
muted just
latest
because
expansion. This
they're
vast
replaying the
sun-scorched
same thing
land
we already
brings
saw.
discovery and danger beyond your imagination's grasp.
The Barrens is the anvil upon which the Horde, as we know it, was founded.
It's a place where eager-eyed mercenaries can begin their journey to greatness.
I guess I'll turn it up very.
embarking
Oh,
on
it's up very
treacherous
low for
paths
you,
to
Greg.
sharpen their skills and weapons as they forge ahead. Speaking of which, I think I see one of Hearthstone's newest mercenaries out in the crossroads. Brucon!
Brucon is a shaman legendary minion that gives your nature spells +3 damage.
But what's a nature spell, you ask?
New to Hearthstone are spell schools. Just like minion types, spells that fall into one of 7 schools will get a new classification.
Spell
schools
okay.
include
I'm not. Never
Arcane,
mind.
Spell, Fire,
That wigged
Frost,
me out for a
Nature,
second.
Holy, and Shadow.
Some classes, like Mage, have access to multiple spell schools.
Let's try it out.
Are those both the same guy in different costumes?
Chain Lightning is a shaman nature spell. It deals 2 damage to a minion and a random adjacent one. But there's more! It's also a ranked spell, meaning it upgrades when you have 5 mana and again at 10 mana.
Ranked spells grow in power as the match progresses, so they remain useful in the early, mid, and late game.
Sometimes it's worth holding out a little bit longer to use one of these spells. The results can be quite shocking. Sounds like those Quillbore didn't learn their lesson.
It's
Hey,
Platinum
Liv,
Chin
aren't
in his
you a
male
warlock?
and female
Well, I don't
form.
want to brag or anything,
Yeah.
but ranked spells can be rather impressive, like Imp Swarm.
Which
It's a
Chin
spell
do you
warlock
prefer,
spell
chat?
that
The male or
summons
the
a
female
3/2
version?
demon. Since it's also a ranked spell, it continues to improve at 5
Alright, now the
mana
trailer's over for
mana.
Diablo.
The more mana in
It's
play,
not. He's putting the key
more
into the earbox.
impact you'll have.
Now's the part of the tour where I like to point out some of my favorite sites. Ooh.
See? Now these... Oh, no. It's just time.
Wow, I love that ending. There's two things. There's the rain of arrows off the mount for the win, and then when that guy takes the ear and he stretches it onto that hook right at the end, it's like, oh.
That ear box never gets old. You know, I always wonder where all those ears from Diablo 2 when you kill other players went.
Now you know there's some creepy guy in a church collecting ears and putting them in a box. Just what we always thought.
No spoilers, but we're going to be hearing a little bit more about World PvP a little bit later in the segment, but ears are definitely making a comeback. But let's go back to the class, because there's just nothing more exciting to be able to introduce to a Diablo game than another class for players to check out.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool thing. We don't get to do this very often, right?
I think it was you that said that, John. There's always room around the campfire.
There's always a little room.
We had kind of like very core archetypes to begin with. The brute strength of the barbarian, the arcane knowledge of the sorceress, kind of a return of a shape-shifting classic with the druid. No RPG lineup is complete without that dexterity class that's kind of like defeating enemies with finesse, with speed. And we kept coming back to just the idea of bringing it to the kind of the godfather of all dexterity-based archetypes, the rogue that we saw in Diablo 1.
I mean, you got to be excited to have the rogue back. I mean, I know that like when we were exploring different classes, like you had talked about some of your experience with Diablo 1, right?
Oh, for sure. So one of the things that's super cool is like the rogue was always able to adapt their play style. So fans of Diablo 1, Diablo 2 rogues will be able to create very archetypical rogues, starting with the weapon selection. On the melee weapon side, rogues can use swords and daggers, as well as bows and crossbows on the range.
You can have a male and a female rogue?
You know, just those sort of dagger attacks mixed with bow attacks.
You do that in D3 too.
It just looks great on screen. With all the classes having this real strong identity as far as the animations and what they do, you think about the druid and shapeshifting, or the barbarian with sort of, you know, his leap attacks. There's just all these great things that you discover with the rogue that you can't really do with other classes.
I love that you can start cosmetically from such a iconic place where you're wearing the red armor, you kind of look like part of the sisterhood of the Sightless Eye from the original games. You know, you can maybe even add some tattoos into the mix, some scars, make that rogue your own. Or if your fantasy of the rogue is a more traditional RPG outlaw, you're definitely able to create that and put on your kind of hood and half mask and be more of a shadowy character.
Yeah, and the character customization, you kind of mentioned it, being able to craft that, you know, that the class of your dreams or your nightmares. It was a feature that I was honestly super nervous about when we started, because we never had this in a Diablo game. But seeing where it is now, it's one of those things that like I'm super excited about with where we're at. There's just a lot of creativity and fun looks, and you can be that you know, tattooed criminal outlaw, or you can be a more noble looking kind of, you know, sort of like thief with good morals.
Well, one of the things that we kind of kept running with beyond just the cosmetics was customization. We had this niche to fill in the class lineup that spoke to the finesse player, to the dexterity player, and just that everyone's idea of what that could be was a little bit different, whether it leaned more on range or melee. But we took that a little bit of a step further. We really wanted to have each class in our game have that one thing that makes you go like, that's bullshit when you see a player use it, and then makes you want to re-roll that class because no other class gets it. For the rogue, it's the class specialization. The 3 specializations are combo points, Shadow Realm.
Yes, Shred, we're watching D2 on the top. The biggest screen is Diablo 2. And
I like Shadow Realm because
You mean Diablo 4?
I take the problem and I make it smaller.
Yeah, this is 4.
It's just I just pull 3 guys into the Shadow Realm and duke it out, and then I come back.
Shadow Realm was Yu-Gi-Oh?
Smaller problem.
I love the idea of exploit weakness. The way it works is during some of the enemy attacks, players will see an icon flash over the enemy's head, during which time they will get to retaliate with much more damage than an ordinary attack. If you're quick on the draw, this is the specialization for you. I'm just like a little bit skill capped there, and you know, like every time I try to make it work, I'm just a little bit shy of the skill level that's required for that.
It's almost like you're a surgeon, and it requires a really strong ability to assess what's happening all around you.
My personal favorite is the combo point specialization. As you might expect, this ability lets you build multiple combo points, which enhance your spender's effectiveness in combat. It basically, you just like get into this rhythm of combat of like.
It's like a rogue from WoW.
Spender, lets you build
Combo
up these
points.
big moments. It almost makes like a rhythm game out of combat, which I really enjoy. And the way the class specializations work is you will work with one of the world groups of rogues around the world in Sanctuary that you will find and do class-specific quests that no other class can do. Whether it's the Sisterhood of the Sightless Eye, the remnants of that order that you choose to work with, or the Mercenaries of Kyrgyzstan, or the outlaw smugglers of the swamps of Hawazar, depending maybe on what speaks to your class fantasy, or depending on which specialization speaks to you or you find more powerful, you'll be able to complete that quest line and then activate that specialization, which then you can mix and match with any of the playstyles. So you could be a combo points, ranged, or melee player, but you could also be an exploit weakness, range, or melee, or hybrid player. It just gives the class such huge variety in builds and playstyles.
I love how that ties into the open world aspect. The ability to go to Kyrgyzstan or Hawazar and get these special quests that only the rogue can get. That touches on one of the things that I love that we've done, which is like connecting the weapons and equipment to regions. When you're exploring the world and you pick up a sword in Kyrgyzstan, it's a scimitar, right? If you're up in Skazglen, which is up in the north, it's more of like a broadsword. It's this sort of like this, it's a subtle thing, but I think it really, different armors that you get in different regions look like they're from the place. And so giving that sense of place in the world is something that I every time I play the game, I feel it, I see it in just like subtle ways, and just really enhances the overall sense of immersion and experience. And I just want to see what's around the corner.
The weapons are also like, going back all the way to Diablo II, just such an integral part of the class, and the ability to augment your weapon through magic, through enhancements, it's just something that really spoke to us when we try to tap into the core of the class. Going back to those mercenaries that you could hire, it was always kind of cool to see what kind of special arrow shot they would come with. And it's something we paid homage to with the imbue system. All the way from directly elemental imbues like the frost imbue, which feels a lot like the ice arrows that the D2 mercenaries used to shoot, all the way to we expanded it to feel a little grittier, a little darker, into things like poison imbue and shadow imbue. Just the ability to take any sort of attack and kind of mix and match with those imbues.
Once that kind of clicked for me, that I could take any ability and imbue it with either of those elements. Rain of Arrows with frost and Rain of Arrows with acid is completely different, right? Like you're essentially freezing the battlefield, and then I just love poison imbue because of the gruesome deaths that all the monsters experience. And we've had a ton of fun making that art, so it's always fun to kind of see just a field of goatmen melt into nothing. You just kill everything on the screen in a gory mess, which I never really gets old.
It's a really flexible way to take a build that you're already comfortable with, that you already like. Say you're really comfortable with Flurry and Shadow Step as kind of your melee skills, and you find yourself needing more crowd control. Without changing your playstyle, you can just add the Frost Imbue to your bar, and now you're able to use those same abilities to slow down enemies or build up to a full freeze.
Yeah, and Frost Imbue plays pretty well with group play as well, right? Where I can freeze an enemy and somebody else can blow it up.
Or also the way that chills work in the game, they build up to a full freeze. So if your best buddy is a sorceress player, your chill spells and your Frost Imbue chills will actually build up faster than if you were using a single player. So just ask to open with Blizzard before you Frost Imbue, and you'll basically be freezing enemies twice as fast, which is super awesome synergy. So the last thing that's worth spending some time talking about the rogue is like how mobile the class is, just how able the class is to kind of close the gap between themselves and the enemy. Even while they're mounted, you might find yourself, a full screen away and just dismounting into a rain of arrows, closing the rest of that gap with maybe like a dash, and then getting back out of there, dropping some caltrops. They can basically control the fluid motion of combat in a way that no other class can. That's something that beyond all of the other customization options that you have, whether it's the playstyle, whether it's the range at which you engage with enemies, whether it's the cosmetics, just the sheer mobility of the class lets you just adapt to the situations. Even when you would have totally been toast as another class, a room full of elites, you're able to use offensive abilities in creative ways. Abilities like shadow stuff, right? Like abilities like Shadow Realm, abilities like Dash. So you're able to kind of like use them to your advantage in a way that gets you out of a very dangerous situation by picking that one lone skeleton archer that maybe is not surrounded by everything else. You can shadow step there, get out of the way, and live to fight another day, which just feels like such a rogue thing to do.
When I play the rogue, I really do feel like surgical precision. I really feel like I can move through the whole screen without. It feels kind of effortless and almost sometimes a little unfair. It's like when I go into Shadow Realm and I'm dashing. I'm like, am I cheating? Did I just break the game?
And we'll hear more about PvP in a little bit, but I just couldn't go without mentioning that some of our most feared PvP players on the team play rogue, and just the way they're able to like surprise you. You might be with a group of friends, and just that mobility lets them go to the middle of the group, unleash a rain of arrows that's frost imbued, and before you know it, you're all frozen. And looking at a rogue while you're frozen, let me tell you, there are fewer scarier things in our game right now than that.
So Luis, this was this is like the ultimate blog post. This has been a lot of fun getting to share a new addition to the campfire. And of course, there's probably going to be more in the future, right? We always say there's a little bit more room around that campfire.
That's right. And
they're teasing another class coming.
So why don't we go to Joe and Karina and learn a little bit more about those open world features that we promised.
Thank you to Luis and John for introducing the Rogue, which I'm really excited that we finally got a chance to talk about and announce to the community. And we're here today to talk to you about Diablo 4 and the open world. Now, I think maybe the best way to start this conversation, Karina, would be just for me to ask you, like, what are you most excited about what we're adding in Diablo 4 for the open world? Like, what feature, what mechanic, what are you most excited to talk about first?
I am really excited about just exploring the world. I am a huge completist naturally, that's the way I play, and I love exploring and looking around at every single nook and cranny. The more this game has been growing, particularly since last BlizzCon, the more fun I am having just riding around the open world on my mount and exploring everything I possibly can.
Yeah, it's really fun, I think, now that we've kind of taken Sanctuary and just made it so much larger when you're playing through the game. When you compare it to like Diablo 3 or Diablo 2, there's tons of like exploration and movement throughout the world in those games, obviously. But now that we've really been able to embrace the open world concept, we can really dive much deeper into like how does Sanctuary actually all fit together, like be able to ride from Skosglen to the Fractured Peaks, like it's very, very interesting that way. One of the things about that I think is really neat is the collection aspect of mounts. So I mean, there's all these horse breeds and other mounts you can find throughout the world, from completing puzzles or just finding hidden locations or slaying certain particular kinds of monsters. Find various horses or things to customize your horse with, like horse armor. There are hoof plates you can get and trophies to show off your accomplishments. There's lots of different ways to make sure that you can personalize your mount, make it really feel like it's your companion.
Yeah, and it's really cool that like you mentioned with the horseshoes, you get to actually change the speed at which your horse can run. And it's something I like, to be able to customize the horse to the type of gameplay that I like to enjoy as a player. And it's really, really fun. I like the amount of variety that you give us.
And I mean, there's more to mounts than just that as well. So like one thing we know we didn't want to do with mounts in Diablo 4 is we didn't want to have like jousting, this idea of like fighting from horseback. It's not really the Diablo experience, right?
Yeah, that's something I'm super excited for. Like we showed last BlizzCon, we had the sorceress, we showed her dismount skill, Ice Dash, where she shoots forwards off her mount and destroys everything in her path. Well, with the rogue, we got to have a little bit more fun with it. And the animation department has done a fantastic job of having her leap up into the air and fire down like the rain of arrows that destroys everything. It's really, really cool. It feels really good.
The idea of like leaping from your saddle and just raining arrows down on your enemies as you pass by, getting down the fray and then starting to stab people and poison people, like that is spot on what we're looking for. Being able to jump in, engage with enemies from your horse, and then just fight it out, duke it out using your skills and everything else like we want.
It's interesting that your mount can't get damaged, but if a monster actually attacks you while you're mounted, you will actually be forced to dismount. So there is a flip side of actually judging for yourself, when you do want to use that skill in order to prevent you from being forced off unintentionally.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of gameplay there to make sure that you're using it in a way that is most appropriate to help you get where you're trying to go and also fight the monsters you want to fight. One of the things I'm most excited about for the open world right now is this feature we have called camps. So camps are basically these strongholds of evil out in the overworld. You know, you got to remember that, you know, decades ago, during the events of Reaper of Souls, you know, when Malthael rose to power, the Reapers killed like 9 out of 10 people throughout Sanctuary. Like a tremendous number of people passed away. Now there's a big power vacuum out here, you know, decades later. And these monsters have started to move into these places. Bandits, monsters, goatmen, all kinds of different creatures, skeletons, the undead, have started to like resurface and come back into these areas and start to take them for themselves. You, as the hero of Sanctuary, get to kind of wander through these spaces and begin to reclaim them for the people of Sanctuary. That's part of what makes them really, really neat. Each of them have their own story, they're their own unique fixed place in the world.
Unlike quests are something that happens randomly in the world and you can come across them anyway. Camps are a permanent fixture that you as the player, when you come across that evil, you can actually have a real impact on the open world that everyone else can see, because once you have defeated that evil, one of the really fun things is that you basically unlock that camp and you make a new waypoint that previously didn't exist for yourself, but like suddenly all the marketplaces open up and now you have a blacksmith vendor in a location that previously didn't exist, which I think is really, really cool.
Now, what we're looking at here, this was a village, the village of Karayisu, which now has fallen to ruins. You know, the people here in the Dry Steppes had a problem. The problem was there were bloodthirsty cannibals that dwelled nearby and would regularly raid their community. And the people had to come up with a solution. They weren't strong enough to defend themselves from these cannibals, so they made a dark bargain with a demon. And they were able to gather enough power to push these cannibals out and protect their community, but not without great cost, as we can see here. You're kind of helping resettle parts of Sanctuary in many ways when you take these camps back from the enemy. Vendors will come back, and now suddenly there might be like new quest givers, new stories that need to be told. Dungeon entrances can appear in some of these places afterwards. Like there's all kinds of things that occur after you take over the camp and liberate it from these forces of darkness. And again, it's just so cool to see you permanently change the world as you find these places and kind of wander through and solve these problems. One of the other neat things about camps, and in general, like the overworld, just broadly speaking, is we have so many more opportunities now to kind of play with movement.
It pushes the bar vertically as well as horizontally, and we now have been playing around with the idea of jumping across chasms to allow the player to get access to a location that they previously didn't have.
There's all kinds of areas for players to like find their own path, allowing them extra movement options they haven't had in previous Diablo games.
We are also in a vertical top-down camera for the environment, and so it really breaks up the plane that you typically see as like not only as a developer, as an animator, but also as a player. There's such a huge variety of things that you can possibly do to mix it up and make things a little bit different. There's like certain puzzle elements to it. That it's not so straightforward and not always obvious. So it's not just a matter of running through the world and getting, to your goal. It's you have to think about it.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Karina, I know that you are very excited about PvP.
I'm a huge fan of PvP. I love the first time that we all actually had a chance to, as a whole team,
PvP and
play
D3 suck.
Because the amount of feedback that generated, I think it took design like 3 days to go through it all. And what that showed me is that I find everyone they either love it or they hate it. And I personally love it. I really enjoy it. So the way that PvP works is that the hatred of Mephisto has been bubbling up from hell and has created these areas in the open world that you can freely walk into that kind of consumes you and makes you turn against your fellow players.
PvP, even in these areas, these fields of hatred, right? Even in these spaces, it's not like mandatory. So these are optional places players can choose to go to kind of collect shards of hatred that they can collect from like killing monsters, from completing events, opening chests, all kinds of ways to earn these things, not necessarily just killing players. And as you earn these shards of hatred, they're kind of in an unpurified state. They're in a basic state. You need to bring them to a purification event in order to turn them into a currency that you can then use in the nearby like small encampments around the fields of hatred. And what's really neat about that is that when you're trying to purify these things, that's when everybody nearby finds out and hears like, oh, okay, well, someone's actually trying to complete the purification ritual. We need to go and kill those players and take all of their shards before they finish. But once you purify them, they're yours. You can't lose them. But before they're purified, they're free game.
Yeah, I think it's really important to note that, like, even if you don't want to engage with other PvP players, you can actually explore those areas and collect the Shards of Hatred from specifically monsters. But the second you need to then turn them in and purify them into a currency where you can spend them on gear, trophies, and other content, you actually are hostile yourself and actually can be attacked during that single moment. But I think that really creates a lot of opportunity for you to team up with friends for just that one little moment in order to
So
get
they're making
the reward that
PvP
you've spent so much
mandatory?
time collecting.
So you called out earlier that the Shards of Hatred are used for like some of the vendors you could find in the Fields of Hatred. There are some special vendors that only kind of arrive in these areas. They'll have special costumes or new mounts and weapons and things along those lines. Nothing that's like strictly more powerful than stuff you can get in other parts of the game, but stuff that really like speaks to your desire as a PvP player. And I think one of the things that's really kind of neat about the system in general is that as a player, if you choose to go hostile, betray other players that are near you, try to get as many Shards of Hatred as you can, you're going to slowly begin to kind of like infuse yourself with that same curse of Mephisto. And you're going to become a vessel of hatred. Now, once you do that, everyone within a very large radius of you is going to be able to see you as a threat on the map. And they're going to get a bonus for killing you. So when that occurs, you have a set amount of time you need to survive. And if you're able to do that without running away or jumping in a town portal and trying to escape, if you're able to do that and finish that period and manage to escape or defeat your people who are coming to try to destroy you, you're going to get a really big bonus at the end. And that's been really, really exciting to watch in our playtests already.
So it's mandatory?
Kind of wrestling for this status and then trying to defend it once they
Oh,
actually
they're making it
achieve
mandatory.
And there's also the ears that you get to collect as a trophy. It harkens back to D2, where I think you could sell the ears for 1 gold. I don't know if we're going to be doing that. I know we were playing around with them as a currency at one point, but I think right now it's just a cool trophy that you get to collect and show off.
Yeah, right now, very, very cool trophy. The thing was really neat about the Diablo 2 ears, like you could fill up your whole inventory with them, obviously, but being able to see like the people that you took the ears from, like seeing their character names on there, was always like the interesting, fun part. Kind of like proof, like yeah, I got that person that time, right? So we want to make sure that we embrace that aspect of it. That's the important part for us. I think that's going to be a really, really great callback to Diablo 2 PvP.
Right, yeah. So I love where PvP is going, and I love that it is such it's only one part of how large and open the world is, and really harkens back to the adventurer in me when I play the game. How do you feel?
I'm super excited as well. I mean, there's so much to look forward to in Diablo 4 right now. Like what we talked about today just scratches the surface. In general, as a Diablo fan, there's a lot to be looking forward to in the franchise in the future. Thank you so much for watching today. We look forward to speaking to you more about this game and others in the future.
All right, so now they're talking about the Diablo Immortal Alpha, I think.
That happened in Australia, right?
Dolby is a proud partner
Yes.
of Blizzcon Line. Watch Shock versus the World in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, only in the Access app. Coca-Cola.
I don't care about
the official
Dolby and
refreshment
Coca-Cola.
of BlizzCon Line.
Actually, on the main channel, they should have a Diablo What's Next part also right now.
The video game industry has spanned over 20 years. My first job in the business was a QA tester. It was kind of a fluky thing where I was in between jobs and I saw this ad that said, play games and get paid. And I thought that might be fun for a little while. And so I came and started testing games. Within months, I knew that this was something I wanted to be a part of forever. I'm Jen O'Neill and I'm Executive Vice President at Blizzard Entertainment. I make sure that our teams have what they need to deliver great content to our fans, whether that's getting alignment on key decisions, ensuring that they have
Now, which window is the main channel?
What? I left it to go to StarCraft because the one in the top right and the one in the bottom left were just playing the same shit.
Go back to the main channel because they have a Diablo What's Next up right now, I think.
There's very few jobs in the world where when it's time to clock out, you just want to get online, start playing with your friends, even your coworkers, because you just love what you do so much. It's really difficult to pick one core value that I relate to the most, but I would say learn and grow has always been an important value to me. We're in such a dynamic industry. The minute you think you're comfortable, you're challenged again. We can always be better. And
Wait, is this just the same thing we just watched?
Yeah.
Brilliant
They're replaying
All right, just leave it then.
I'm just gonna
You can just-
reattach it up here.
You can just leave it in the corner and let it do whatever. Yeah, it's fine.
Just reattach it if anything
D2 was
important
the
happens.
first PC game that I ever played that got me so hooked and made me feel like I could officially call myself a gamer. When I'm thinking about what makes a great game, if I step out of looking at it clinically like a person who's in the industry, when I'm just playing a game for fun, it's when I feel just completely immersed. I become a part of that world. I become the character that I'm playing. It stays with you. You wake up in the morning and you think, oh, I've got to get back into that world that I felt so connected to. I can name off a lot of games that I've worked on that have really made me proud, but one thing I've become very passionate about is creating great game experiences with diverse representation. I've been a gamer all my life, and it was disappointing at times to not have heroes who look like me. Now I think we're seeing how ubiquitous gaming is, and there are people from all walks of life who play games, and they want to see themselves in their games. So no matter who you are or where you're from, you have a way to be a part of our community.
I think they're gonna have a Q&A with the voice of Deckard Kane.
That would be dope.
They are. The voice of Deckard Kane, look right there.
Voice of Deckard Kane. This is
Yeah,
all
right now.
Pacific time.
Yeah, but that's right now.
Stay a while and listen.
There he is.
Hi, this is Michael Goff, the voice of Deckard Kane, and I invite you to stay a while and listen. I had been working on another project. They just, they said, we're working on something else. Had no idea what it was. And they said, we have this character that we're thinking about, and we just would like to see if you could read a few lines here and do a quick audition. So, I mean, there was a little bit of a description. This older, kind of wise wizardish character. Maybe he kinda would sound like an older Sean Connery. Was a nice clue to work with, because it sort of gave you a little path down which, you know, Deckard evolved. There wasn't like the depth or the layers to his character in the beginning, but his sound, it just sort of appeared. But it was, yeah, he was a little more perfunctory to begin with. So he would just kind of, you know, appear with his heraldic staff and he'd go, follow me to find the next soul stone. The stakes got higher, right, as time went on. He just became himself in D2. Beyond just being the iconic functionality
Deckard
character
Kane.
that he had been in the beginning.
Look at that
He's got
beautiful
his own issues.
modeled
It was
render.
a pleasure and a joy to be able to.
That guy actually
just have
looks
more
pretty
to grab
familiar.
Onto and
Kind of looks like
a
Deckard
greater
Kane.
range.
Well, no, I'm
of,
talking about, is he like a voice
emotional
actor for other shit or an
reality.
actor?
He became both more helpful and empathetic and more impatient. There were desperate actions that needed to be taken, and there isn't much time left, and no one's listening. And of course, you know, having Leah come into his life kind of changed things. He maybe softened a little bit, but he was more determined than ever to make sure that the light was not going to be extinguished. I think the thing that really is Deckard's hallmark is that he cares deeply about the world of Diablo, the history, the lore, and what's happening around him. It's a blessing and a curse because If not him, then who? Nobody. And as
I wonder if they're going to try and find a way to bring him back to life in the fourth one.
He does believe that there is a pinprick of light in the darkness that he can help expand and open up. Some people have said that even, going back to D1, just the fact that he was there as a companion really helped them. I was surprised initially how people feel about Deckard Kane. I mean, I'm really grateful. Whatever impact this character may have had on people, that it's as widespread as it is. I mean, I think the world needs Deckard Kane now and forever.
Here's the AMA.
Well, Sanctuary was a world trapped between the two sides of the eternal conflict. It was filled with beauty and danger. A little too much danger, if you ask me. Tristram, of course, was lovely, though these days perhaps not the ideal landing place for a vacation. Perhaps Caldeum. I do recall they had excellent food in Caldeum, although I was almost killed there, too. Oh, heavens, I hope not. I am now in the charge of a young child named Leah. It is my responsibility to protect her from witnessing any of the horrific and soul-robbing sights that I have experienced over my life. There is an ancient prophecy that says humanity shall enjoy peace and happiness forevermore. That's a joke. I expect we shall see them return soon enough. Or perhaps they've never left. Have you gone insane? Why would I ever want to go there? Have I not suffered enough? Well, I did visit Pandemonium once, and I live to tell about it. That's more than most mortals can claim. But that was enough for me. Oh, I do so certainly hope so. They must be better than demons, eh? At least I'm sure we'll never see an angel wipe out half of humanity again. Oh, perhaps I should not have said that out loud.
Oh, Lilith. That's the name of the
Ancient
boss.
myths, as I recall.
Lilith? Wasn't she like a sub-boss?
She helped create the world of Sanctuary.
Oh,
and
no,
for that
Lilith
we are
is
eternally grateful.
Adam's
She's also
first
rumored
wife.
to
That
be
was
quite
evil.
Devious, yes. But she was sealed into the abyss long ago. I doubt we shall ever see her return. Oh no. I should not have said that. So, I want to thank you for staying a while and listening to me rattle on. Enjoy Blizzcon Line 2021, and I will see you sometime in the future. Or the past. I'm not sure which is which anymore.
They gotta find a way to bring him back.
Yeah, because he got killed, so he's got to come back as like an undead or basically a Draugr. Basically.
My thanks to the D4 dev team for that update on our new class, the Rogue, and even more details about our new open world features. You know, I just have to say I love the new Rogue. It's a little Diablo 1 Rogue mixed with the D2 Assassin, mixed with the D3 Demon Hunter, with some exciting new elements added just for D4. And I also want to thank Michael Goff for his Deckard Kane AMA. It's hard to believe, but I first met Michael 15 years ago when I cast him as Carmine in Gears of War. And so it's great to work with him again, but this time as Deckard Kane, your heroic guide through Diablo Immortal. And speaking of Immortal, we had a limited public tech alpha last December, and I had a lot of fun playing over the holiday break. Apparently, our playtesters did too, killing over 70 million monsters in just 2 weeks. Diablo Immortal is Sanctuary as you've never seen it before. Now, a persistent online multiplayer world, and we can't wait until you get it in your hands. So let's get into it. Next up, Diablo content creator Bloodshed sits down with the Immortal dev team to talk about his impressions of the tech alpha test and to answer all of his questions. And after that, we'll enter the dark and twisted world of the legendary artist Braum to learn more about his Diablo work and what inspires him.
What's up, everybody?
Right,
Bloodshed here.
Diablo Immortal.
If you don't know me, I'm a Diablo content creator. I love the hell out of Diablo ever since I was a little kid. Grinding legendaries all night, way past my bedtime. As an adult, I still do that, but I also run a full-time Twitch stream and a YouTube channel where we make build guides, educational videos. Because of all this, I've been able to build an amazing community, and I have the opportunity today to talk to some of the Diablo Immortal developers. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up, Bloodshed? Should we refer to you
Oh,
as
Wyatt Chang is
Blood
here.
or Mr. Shed?
Oh, fuck.
Mr. Shed might be too formal. We'll go with Bloodshed's fine.
Okay, great. Well, Bloodshed, I'm Caleb, the lead producer on Diablo Immortal.
Hey, Bloodshed. My name's Wyatt Chang. I'm the lead designer on Diablo
Because it's like,
Immortal.
hey, we're normal
Thanks for,
names. Hi,
Thanks for
Bloodshed.
making this time so we can talk about the game.
Yeah, super
Could've just
excited
been
to
like, my
kinda
name's
delve
Dave.
into Immortal here.
Yeah, and you were actually part of the technical alpha, right? You had a chance to play.
Yeah, I played, I think, over 100 hours. I was grinding, yeah. Burning the thumbs and the screen, it was fun. It was a lot of grinding, but I had a good time with it.
I know some people kind of picked a class and went really deep, and some people played a breadth, kind of played them all. What was your experience like?
Yeah, I went through and I played all the classes, all the way to max level, even grinded out a little bit of Paragon in each of them. But I think my favorite was Wizard. I spent the most time on Wizard. What was your guys' favorite class?
So my favorite class is the Monk. I love the mobility. I like just getting in and out and like destroying whole packs of mobs together. That feels really good, but I think like in terms of fantasy fulfillment, my favorite would have to be the Barbarian. I just love that it's like the meat potatoes, pop demons with my axes feeling, and so sort of like nothing takes that place in my heart. So my answer is cheating, it's 2.
Every time we do a playtest of some kind, I like to play a different class. So this time around, it was time for some Barbarian love. And I played Barbarian up to max and played some Paragon after that. Had a good time with it. I love some of the legendary items on the Barbarian. I got, there was one sweet legendary I found that it was every time you use Hammer of the Ancients, it would summon an Ancient to fight alongside you. And then I got another legendary item that gave Hammer of the Ancients 2 charges, so I could actually like double up on those, and that was super fun.
Yeah, I had a Twister legendary that turned into a giant tornado, and that was really cool. I was just running through the Elder Rifts, gathering up all the mobs, and then just using this big tornado. It's like as big as the almost screen. It's a really awesome one. A lot of the abilities I notice have like a dual purpose. Like with Monk, you can kick, and then you can kick off the wall, and then with Wizard, you can place like an ice crystal, and then reflect the Ray of Frost off the crystal, and then just do this big AoE to all the enemies in the area. What was it like designing all that interaction that we don't have in other games?
When it comes to designing the skills for Diablo Immortal, we definitely want to make sure that we're bringing something new. You know, in a lot of ways, it's good when the classes feel familiar, and sometimes it fits like an old glove. People love to have their Barbarian with Whirlwind and Whirlwind through enemies. It's such a classic. People would always want to look for that. It's also really important that we have new experiences, and I think things like the Ice Crystal and the kick that you mentioned are really important. You want some things that are new, some things that are improved over previous, and some things that are familiar and comfortable. And I think the right mix of all three when it comes to class skills is what lets us have, honoring the Diablo legacy while still pushing in new directions.
One thing I definitely want to dive into is the speed, like the progression speed. It really gives me like D3 vanilla vibes where, legendaries aren't dropping left and right. And like everything you get, you're so grateful because you don't get that many items or like crafting materials. Like you're always kind of thirsty, and then it feels really good when you get it, Was this all kind of planned, this pacing? Is this what you guys are thinking about?
Yeah, I think that, you always want to have a good pacing of reward, but you really want those random moments to be exciting as well. So for us, finding a new legendary item is that surprise, right? It's like, oh, sweet, I got a legendary. And if it's happening too often, then it's not as exciting anymore. But we also want to make sure that you're feeling like every play session was worth it. And so, well, that's where systems like Paragon and Gear Rank Up come in, where if I play for 15 or 30 minutes and I don't see a legendary item, I've still managed to advance my character in other ways. And so you sort of have that like predictable reward that you can count on, but then you also have those moments of excitement that come from an awesome drop.
When I hit max level on my wizard, I was bummed because I'm like, no frozen orb, like that's so iconic, right? And then I got a legendary that turned it into frozen orb, and I was like, this is cool. Like it kind of makes you think like anything's possible because you can just kind of modify the skills to become other skills.
Yeah. And there's something super exciting about finding a legendary that you didn't even know existed in the game. It's almost like the magic that existed during technical alpha. Nowadays, sometimes we play and all the information is available on the internet and you can look it up. And sometimes you even know what item you want beforehand. I think one of the things that kind of made the technical alpha special was people being genuinely surprised, like, what? I didn't know that this was in the game. I think that's awesome. And I also think, there's a lot of people who play games and they don't look stuff up on the internet beforehand, and they'll get that experience and that feeling. And we're hoping that, with a little bit of a slowed down pace of legendaries and kind of having the skills and the legendary items be easy to understand, people can really have that discovery process as they play the game.
I think that's one reason why I had so much fun too in the alpha, like you said, is it's a full Diablo game. It's like you're getting a brand new Diablo game and everything's new and we're discovering stuff left and right, and you get
what do you think about this
new player feeling all over again.
I mean,
and,
it looks a lot more fun than a lot of other mobile games that I have.
It's like a kid in the candy store, right? It's just everything wide-eyed and awesome.
One of my favorite things
it's just really how toxic the
variety.
monetization
There's so many
system is.
different
that's
things to
make
do.
or break my overall
and as you're
enjoyment with
leveling,
it.
you get to a point where you can't really continue until you do some other quest grinding.
See, like this, that's the type of shit that concerns me.
Run some Elder Rifts. Was like the break intentional?
Yeah. Oh, great question. It was absolutely intentional. A couple reasons for that. In Diablo 3, Greater Rifts were great. They're really fun, but some of the feedback that we got was that people wanted a bigger variety of things to do. There's sometimes just, a lot of a good thing can still, leave you wanting to do other activities. And in Diablo Immortal, we said, okay, well, let's make use of our outdoor world. Let's make use of these instanced dungeons that we've created. Let's give players a variety of activities to do. The other reason to have this variety of activities is one of the goals for Diablo Immortal is we really want to double down on progression. We want there to be lots of ways for people to meaningfully progress their character all the time. And so we have, we have the gem system, and we have legendary gems, and we have gear rank up, and we have legendary collection, we have Paragon. And by having all these different ways for you to improve your character, it lets players sort of really feel like, what do I want to do today? What am I in the mood to do? In what way do I want to
I'll play through the game. I don't know how deep I'm going to get into it, though.
Sometimes I feel chained to like a quest hub or like a zone where everything is in this one little spot. But being able to go around the world and hunt for different things and have a little bit of variety, and there's a lot of variety actually in the game, it makes it so much more enjoyable.
Cool, awesome. I'm glad it's working out. We feel like it's working out pretty well too, and we're looking forward to being able to build on that.
The PvP event is something special. Like it's like the World of Warcraft Gurabashi event, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like designing the PvP in the game?
Kind of zooming out a little bit, every zone has its own event.
Nas, can you just check the,
yeah.
So I just did, and they're playing
the
Diablo shit.
There's a little arena.
Okay, yeah, that's the same thing we just saw. I just want to make sure it was the same.
And players can fight over it every 3 hours. But over in Ashwold Cemetery, every half hour there's a carriage, a ghostly carriage that comes through, and anyone in the zone can come by and attack the ghostly carriage and partake in the loot. And there's kind of like a different thing going on in the dark wood.
Oh, you're right. Dude, Buon is tonight. I forgot.
Tree of
Fuck.
Benefice, has a ceremony where you can fight a corrupted image of yourself. And so in every zone, there's a different mechanic. And when we got to the Battlefen, there was this idea.
I mean, the combat itself looks pretty solid.
PvP event.
I mean, it just looks like D3 on mobile,
That
right?
turned out to be a lot of
Literally
people's
does.
Yeah, I had
With
some
the
experiences
very
there.
trademark
The first
style
time I
mobile
showed up,
controls in the
it
bottom
was like
right.
me and like 5 people. And I was all bright-eyed, and I'm like, let's do this. It's going to be a fun little bloodbath. I found out really quickly
Wonder how
that
hard
you
it's
can
gonna be
group
to
for the
aim
event.
skill shots
And
like
it was 4v1, and it was an experience. Speaking of like these zone events, the Ashwold event where you have to like escort this horse and carriage, I believe, through the zone was my favorite one by far. Seeing everybody on the server kind of coming together, fighting over it, and then getting the loot was pretty awesome. Do you guys have any like favorites?
Oh yeah, my favorite is in the Library of Zoltan Kuhl. Sort of peppered around the zone, you'll find these hidden tomes, and if you collect enough of them, you can combine them together and it essentially unlocks a secret level. And so it could be a level where you go in, fight some mobs, get some cool loot and come back out, or it can actually even summon a world boss like a Hydra that everyone in the zone has to come together and kill. And so I like the randomness there because it feels like...
Did they say how many
doing
people
it
are
over
going to be
and
in each
over,
zone?
You could get a different result.
I don't think so, no.
Kind of keeps the excitement up.
Like,
So
what if
one of
you're
the
trying to do
things
this shit and,
also
like, nobody wants
new
to
is
come
our
help you?
Paragon system. And we were able to design something
Then
from
I
scratch.
guess you can probably open
for
it
this
up to,
game
like,
with
random
all
people
the
to come
learnings
in.
we had from Diablo 3. So my question is actually for Wyatt. What was that like designing a new Paragon system?
It was cool. It was cool. We had Paragon in Diablo 3, but once you reach Paragon 800, it became a more sort of just a linear path. And being able to say, okay, we know that Diablo Immortal is a game that's going to, have a long lifetime. We're going to provide content updates to it. We're going to be adding and expanding on all of the features. How can we design a Paragon system that is exciting now, but will also be exciting years into the future? And that's where the idea of let's have multiple trees. And when we want to expand on the Paragon system, we'll add additional trees. Each tree provides players with some choice of where they want their Paragon points to go, and the system is completely extensible anytime we want to raise the Paragon cap. But that's me talking as a designer. Blood, you experienced it from a player's point of view, and also as someone who's done a lot of Paragon in Diablo 3. What was your reaction to the Paragon system?
I was blown away by the choice. You can specialize in 4 or 5 different trees. And then with each tree, there's these I don't know what they're called, the circle and square nodes within the tree. So there's traits and other abilities that you can earn.
The circles are the ones that give you bonuses all the time, no matter what tree you have picked as being active. And then the squares are the active specializations that give you a special bonus when that tree is selected.
I love to kind of min-max whatever I'm doing in the game. So if I'm doing PvP, I can swap to that tree and get those bonuses. And then if I'm doing some farming, I can switch to the treasure hunter tree was my favorite. And then I can get, more bonuses doing that activity. So I guess, for me, being able to kind of control how my character is performing, I'm all about it. There is a dungeon now where you can kind of go back in time where you fight alongside Cool and you get to hang out with Tel Rasha. It's kind of like a WoW time walking event. Are you guys going to explore this mechanic further? Maybe we can, I don't know, do a dungeon after the Sin War or something like that?
That is a great call out, and you're spot on with even referencing WoW time walking dungeons, because that's actually how we've talked about it internally as well, is, hey, the Library of Zoltan Kuhl is this opportunity for us to
I like how they're
dive into
referencing
the
all this
past.
lore
We get
shit.
to see Tel Rasha and Baal have this conflict, and for the player to relive it. And we really love the way that World of Warcraft used the Caverns of Time and time walking to further expand the reach of the types
I like
of
this.
stories
Baal,
that you can tell.
Tel Rasha.
No announcements today.
Yeah, all the D2
but
bosses.
Definitely something the team is excited
But this is
about
right before the events of
I noticed
D2,
that.
isn't
Every
it?
dungeon
No,
has
it's in
a
between
cutscene that
D2 and
feels
D3.
a full-fledged, normal,
thought Bale's
AAA
dead at
game.
that
It's
point.
awesome.
Well, we
I
have
don't
a
know.
policy that that relates to the cinematics, but also things like audio design, that, you know, a lot of mobile players, they don't play with the sound on. But because this is a Blizzard game, we felt like for those players that do, we have to really show up and show people that AAA quality that they've come to expect from any of our games. And so that provides us a lot of just excitement, enthusiasm on the team, because we know we're not holding back. You know, not just because this is a mobile game, we do less. Like, we still, you know, just take it to 11, you know, every chance we get.
Speaking about the story and the characters, we get to hang out with Deckard Kane again. What was it like working with him?
Yeah, that is awesome. It was great to be able to bring Deckard Kane back, being able to work with Michael Goff again. There's a short BlizzCon line segment with him. He's such a beloved character in the Diablo franchise, so I'm glad we're able to do that. I love that we're able to visit characters that are fan favorites, but, you know, we want to be, you know, we're not just Diablo on mobile, it's a brand new game. And so as part of a brand new game, we've got brand new characters that we want to explore as well. From Skarn, one of your main antagonists in the game. You've also got Zool and Lethis. We're going to be
Zool's the
exploring the
Necromancer.
storylines behind Vala and Josen. Vala, go to the Demon Hunter, being able to learn more about her and her history. We've got all new stories to explore.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much I missed Deckard Kane until I got off the boat, like you said. And I'm like, man,
Yeah, 'cause I
this is
killed him.
awesome.
He's
It
back.
kinda-
Idiot.
He's like the glue
Yeah.
of the franchise almost, you know? It's awesome.
You know, one of our goals was to be a mobile MMO, and one of the ways that, you know, we really focused on is having a cool town hub like Westmarch. I don't know if you felt like Westmarch made the game feel bigger.
Well, when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, that's cool, you know? Like, there's a hub for everybody to go to, like a little town. But it's way cooler when you get to play it, because you're there and you get to see everybody running by. You get to check out everyone's gear, and it does feel a lot more alive. And it became one of my favorite features, I think, overall, just because it's like we were talking about WoW, you know, seeing people with certain gear and inspecting them, I think really kind of brings like the game and the community together.
I think one of the best parts is seeing all the different spots in the city where people go for different activities, whether it's leveling up their gear or getting gems slotted in or going to do some rifts or bounties. It's really cool to just watch people sort of like in the traffic, you know, going from here to there. And it feels almost like a living city, right? Where there's a bunch of people just going about their day, and it feels very, you know, like you said, like an alive.
Yeah, watching people take group selfies in,
Yeah, exactly.
in different sections.
That's
It was
right.
cool, yeah. I enjoyed it.
A central town hub was something that we wanted to do for Diablo 3. Back then, internally, we called it Player Town. And it never quite made it. In game development, you have to kind of pick and choose the features that you're going to incorporate, but I'm super thrilled that we were able to incorporate a capital city into this experience. One of the things I think is special about having a game with a capital town, and also just an online game where other players are always around, is you really get the sense that the world is real. You know, that like when you close down the app, when you aren't playing anymore, the world lives on without you and is alive without you. And I feel like having a capital city really brings that idea home.
Now we just need to have like a working bar in Westmarch and I'll be happy.
There is actually a bar in Westmarch. There wasn't a whole lot of reason to go there during Technical Alpha, but it's got a whole tavern vibe in there and go hang out.
And you'd be able to sit and maybe order something or hang out.
There's going to be some reasons for you to swing by the bar later. I think one of the ways that Diablo Immortal is really trying to do something new is with the social aspects of the game. When we talk about the game being a mobile MMO, I think finding reasons for you to enjoy being around other people is really important to us. I mean, you can play through the main story campaign solo, just if you just want to kind of take in and digest the story and do it at your own pace. But providing incentives and rewards for interacting with other players, I think actually makes the game more fun.
Yeah.
All right, when does it come
speaking
out?
of, like,
Dude, didn't they announce
community,
this game in
we did a dungeon
2018?
together on Alpha.
Some shit like that,
Yes,
and it was
we did.
just in
I
Alpha.
had a lot of fun
I
running
heard
that
they had to
dungeon with you.
redo like everything.
So I was
'cause
just
it
watching your
like,
stream. You know, when the tech
allegedly
alpha
too
was going
similar
on,
to
there were a
another
bunch
game.
of different content creators who had their streams going, and I saw you. So I'm like, oh well, let me jump on. And I remember I typed out in chat to you, I was like, hey, Blood, do you want to run a dungeon together? And you said yes. And so that was cool. I was able to jump on. We were able to party up, no problem. I'm really glad that the voice chat was there because I was like, well, you're streaming. How do we get on voice chat? Like, do we need to like get onto Discord somehow? But since you were streaming the game, I think it all just worked out and all the audio passed through, and that was a good time. I think that was one of my highlights from the technical alpha.
Oh, that's awesome. That means a lot. So I gotta ask you guys, are there any plans for controller support?
Controller support is one of the most requested things that we got coming out of Technical Alpha. And so you are not alone in wanting to be able to sit comfortably and play with a Bluetooth controller. We're actually going to be investigating how we can bring in controller support in the future. And we are very excited that the community responded so positively to it. And so nothing to announce today, but definitely look for updates on this in the future.
Yeah, the touch controls are really good. I would use them for any kind of quick gameplay sessions, you know, when I'm out and about or doing things. But, you know, when I'm kind of plopping down for the day, it would be cool to kind of switch to controller mode and kick back. Did you guys play in any areas outside of your home?
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite experiences is being able to just take my dog out for a walk and, you know, play. I was just taking my dog for a walk. I was at a intersection and the PvP event in Balfen came up, and I was just like, I'm gonna do it from here. Super convenient to be able to just play from the park or wherever. I remember Leviathan was joking that, you know, he could play while he was waiting at the doctor's office, and it's almost like, okay, you're up. He said, no, you can go. I'll keep waiting.
5 more minutes.
Don't worry about me.
Wherever I was out where I could play, you know, comfortably, I was playing Immortal, and it was a cool experience to be able to just play it wherever I was and kind of get progress on my account.
What kind of stuff did you enjoy doing?
That was actually my favorite thing about Immortal was the amount of activities you could do. There's like these layers out in the open world, there's legendary mobs, there's a lot, but I think hunting for layers or like hidden dungeons, it kind of gave me some of those D2 vibes.
What was the max rank normal gem that you got during Technical Alpha?
Not too much. I think a 5. Does that sound right? I think it was like level 5 for the normal gems.
5 definitely requires that. That sounds like, you know, 10 to 12 hours of grinding a day for a while.
Layers, I mentioned, were one of my favorite kind of activities to do in Immortal. I noticed some of the tile sets look like D3 assets, and are we going to get like a more variety of tile sets and layers?
In Technical Alpha, we had 2 of those tile sets intentionally, just for that small test. But we plan on adding a lot of diversity and variety to those tile sets, and there should be a difference between what you see in a Rift, which sort of like takes its tile set from a global pool of different things you can see, versus like a layer, where a layer could be inside Biofen or Ashwood Cemetery, and the layer below a cemetery should look different than the layer below a jungle or a frozen mountain or whatever the zone is. And so we're putting a lot of effort to make sure that there's diversity there and that it feels connected to the world above it.
That's really cool. So if it's like a foresty type zone, the layer is going to have like a foresty, mossy type dungeon to correspond with it. That really kind of increases the immersion. I like that idea.
We want you to remember where you are in the surface world as you dive down into the layer, but that by no means limits the amount of diversity and like rich art we're able to put into each of these tile sets.
Did you expect players to grind so much in general, like with all the Paragon that we grinded and all the gem levels and everything?
There were some people who seriously went ham on it, for sure. Like, it was pretty impressive. And I mean, I took it as a compliment. You know, when people want to play the game that much, it means that we've made something special that people want to enjoy. I think it speaks doubly so when it's a limited technical alpha, it's only going for a short time, and progress isn't carrying forward. for people to play an RPG and invest time in a character that is ultimately going to be deleted really means that they're just having a lot of fun doing it. And that's great to see.
I was really surprised by how far people got in challenge rifts. Like, to see that was just awesome because, you know, I don't think anyone internally had gotten that far naturally without using, you know, some like developer powers. And so just to see in like, you know, 2.5 weeks, people, you know, just blowing the dev team away in terms of challenge rift progression. That's cool. That makes us really happy.
Probably got a lot of good data off of it from the alpha, I'm assuming.
We got a lot of cool clips on Twitch, man. Like, like we just got a lot of great observation, like just watching people play at that high level and seeing what skills they use, what do they talk about, what kind of gear or legendaries do they want. Like that informs us a lot, just watching you guys play.
It was really cool to see sort of how a lot of the high-end players...
They're really going to go this entire Blizzcon without saying a release date.
It's also interesting to see how, like, just your average person walks into the game. We held the test primarily in Australia, and being able to see, you know, not like the elite top 5%, but just your average person who downloads the game, you know, how long does it take them to finish the tutorial? How many hours do they want to play? What percentage of people are coming back? Like, we've been gathering a lot of data, and it's been extremely helpful.
So I was there at BlizzCon 2018, and how do you think the announcement for Immortal went?
Yeah, that was rough, for sure. I think a lot of people came, they had Diablo 4 in the mind, and you know, at one point during the Q&A, it was asked if the game would ever be coming to PC, and you know, I had probably not the best response. And what went through my mind is I really wanted to be able to say, hey, you know, we're making Diablo 4. And that's not something that we could share at the time. An inappropriate remark came out instead. And I am glad that now hopefully people can see, you know, there's more Diablo on its way. We have a lot of love for the Diablo universe, and our goal ultimately is to provide more Diablo options for more people.
Yeah, so I mean, I was there at BlizzCon, like I said, in ground zero, and it was tough. I mean, it was really hard with all the, you know, passion at an all-time high from the community. It was tough to stream it, but you know, I always believed in Immortal. It was so much fun when I played the demo. And
Thank you.
I was like everybody else. I wanted D4 to be announced, but with all the hints and you guys saying that there was multiple projects in the works, I guess that was my glimmer of hope that I was holding to. And so I was able to look at Immortal, I guess, a different way, because in the back of my mind, I knew like Diablo 4 was probably getting developed. But I streamed it, and I regret nothing. It was fun, and I feel like I can tackle anything now.
Cool. Well, thanks for supporting the team.
Yeah.
We got feedback, and I think that really sustained the team through that time. Is for the people who played it at BlizzCon, there was a lot of feedback that said, you know, this is good. You know, I think the game kind of spoke for itself, and you know, playing is believing for this game. And I'm looking forward to the future where we can get the game in more people's hands so they can see for themselves.
What's next? Like, is there another testing phase? Like, what's happening?
We will have a new testing phase, which will include new content, for example, a new class. And we're really excited to bring that to a wider audience as well, potentially for a longer period of time. Our previous test was only 2.5 weeks, and so we're looking at our next test as an opportunity to test more end game systems. And so we're really excited about that, and we'll announce more about that very soon.
Oh, so you're saying all the stuff that we've experienced is still not the true end game that you have planned?
Dude,
no.
Oh
no, we have an epic end game.
That Peter dude is literally
Diablo
like the
Immortal.
Toshi
and
of
for
Diablo.
the technical alpha, it was
Is it
very
now?
much focused on just that, like
He is.
early
What's up,
and
Nate?
mid game. And so I believe we've.
The game
said
looks
before
fun.
that,
Like, this looks
like
fun.
The challenge
Like,
rift
the
alone is
graphics
not
quality,
the sole
like,
end game
it looks
of
decent.
Immortal. We have a lot
So
more.
I just woke up and just joined. Does it look better than Diablo Immortals, or did they totally scratch that?
That's what they're talking about right now. That was Diablo Immortal.
You know, at 45,
Oh, it is?
we
Oh,
wanted
okay.
there
It
to
looks
be
really
something for
good.
players to do.
Oh, okay.
It's
which
just
is
the
why we have challenge
monetization
drifts.
side
But the tech
is
alpha
what's
was
gonna
really
make it or
focused
break
on
it.
the early leveling experience and
the
the mid-game
grindiness.
systems. There
Mhm.
are whole new other systems that we still have planned for the Elder game.
Well, I had a blast.
I'm talking
playing
about
the
just
alpha.
woke up. I've
I
been
had
streaming this
an
whole
awesome
stream
time
for 2
hanging out
hours
with
and
you
20
guys
minutes.
today. So thanks for having
No,
me.
I literally
Yeah,
just
Bled,
woke up
thanks
like
a lot.
30
Yeah,
minutes,
Bled,
minutes ago.
It's
Oh,
been
they're talking about you.
an
They're calling
absolute
you
pleasure.
me.
It's been
Okay.
amazing to be part of Blizzcon
Yeah.
9, and I look forward to what's to come.
Yeah, so they showed off Diablo 4, which looks pretty dang good. They showed off Diablo Immortal, which also looks pretty dang good. And they showed off the remaster of
Dolby is a
Diablo
proud
2,
partner of
which looks
BlizzCon Live.
amazing.
Watch Shock versus the World
Hmm.
in Dolby Vision and Dolby.
Like, very, very minimalist remaster. Like, just touched everything up, re-rendered all the cutscenes. Like, it seems like they did that one justice, where the Warcraft 3 one they really fucked up.
Okay.
What do you think, Gresh? Or is he AFK?
He's been quiet this whole time, so
He's
I
said a
don't
couple
know.
things. I'm sure he's like taking it all in. I didn't even realize I was muted for a second. I was trying to talk.
You dare enter my realm.
This looks like WoW.
It does, yeah.
This must just be like a commercial.
Either a commercial or like a DLC announcement or an event or something.
And then they're doing Hearthstone down here. They're doing that. The mode that's like Marvel Duel. The Battlegrounds mode or whatever. Up here.
Thank you, Rocket.
Warcraft. Showing Overwatch off on the main channel. This is like, I don't know what the hell else going on. This is more Overwatch, StarCraft.
So, what's the highlights for Diablo Immortal that stuck out to you the most, that really attracted you to the game the most?
Fun. Like, it's a traditional Diablo experience. It doesn't look like it looks fun. For a mobile game, like, I'd probably have honestly more fun playing Diablo Immortal than like Dragon Ball Legends.
Oh, okay. That's good. Burning Crusade. Chat. Crusade. Time for a crusade.
Yeah, Burning Crusade's coming back to Classic.
I don't really play World of Warcraft, but anything Crusade-like, I love.
Well, chat, depending on how long this presentation goes on, Troko is supposed to stream some stuff at 9 p.m. and then potentially me and Nate can go live after that with, I don't know, some Minecraft or something.
Minecraft or Valheim or anything. Oh, I remember that Game Boy game. I used to play that all the time.
I'm not playing Paunch Woods. Paunch is reserved for very special occasions,
One of the
alright?
things about Blackthorn that's kind of cool is it's the first time that we actually had orcs.
I don't know if you
I could play Hotel Mario.
There would be the little bad guys that you fought.
This dude looks like
and
Weird
then
Al
when they
Yankovic,
shot
kind
you, they
of.
would go.
Not
He
so much in the
does.
fa- not so much in the face, but the goatee and the hair.
Yeah.
The orcs at that time just became so dear to us also because they were always just there to add a little bit of humor to what was going on.
Valheim is great. Don't you even
That's
dare
a fun
say
little
Midheim.
side note, I think, that many people wouldn't have known is that the first Blizzard orcs were in Blackthorn. Now, wait a minute, I'm actually thinking, I think our first orc might have actually been in Rock and Roll Racing as one of the bad guys that you play against. I think it was Bogmire. So, Blizzard and orcs since 1993.
Chat, y'all are nut. You're always recommending the worst fucking games ever. What's the matter with you? I'm not playing Skylanders, Sonic 06, Wand of Gamelon, DC Girls. What the hell is wrong with y'all? No! I am not. I'm gonna be like Toon, bro. You wanna see me play DC Girls? I want $1,000 cash in my hand.
Alright. Do you accept Monopoly money?
No. I want real money. $1,000. Otherwise it ain't happening. I'm pulling a Toon. I'm going to the Toon zone.
I've actually never played Skylanders. Chat, is it any good just to give a shot? I've seen the figures and the figurines look super cool as collectibles,
Blizzard
but
has sent me on a dangerous and harrowing quest into the realms of soggy Seattle to interview the nefarious artist Brahm, or as I like to call him, Dad.
Hi, my name's Brahm. We're here
$1,000
in the studio today to
$1,000
interview
to
one
play.
of Blizzard's devious dungeon designers, Devin Brahm, or as I like to call him, Son.
Can you
Playing a
talk about
fucking DC
some of your
girls.
early
Y'all are
influences?
insane.
I think we'll have to start with my background as far as my lifestyle, meaning my father.
Alright, I should download a CDI emulator.
Traveled all
What is this about now?
Just commercials,
first
filler.
3 years of my life was,
Where'd you go? What
Japan,
part
where
did
I
you
was
leave?
Subjected to just a barrage.
They were just ending the
of
Immortal
animation
discussion.
and Godzilla
So,
films,
I
and,
think Immortal
and
looks
that
fun.
was,
Like,
my
everything
initial
about it looks pretty good. The
inspiration,
graphics are
I think,
amazing. It looks fun. It's just really
By moving
hinging
around
on the
so much,
grindiness and the
it can be
monetization.
very
That's
lonely.
like the
It takes a
last
while to
puzzle piece.
acclimate and make new friends,
Yeah.
and
They
art
did
is
say
always
that they were going to
friend.
run
It's always
another
there.
beta
So no matter
for
where I
a
was or how
longer
long
period
it
of
felt,
time to
you know, I
test
had art to
endgame
fall
stuff,
back
but
on.
they didn't specify
And it
when or
also
who
helped
all
with
was
making friends
included.
because as my skills
Alright.
develop and
That's about
I'm gonna eat dinner, but I'll be back at 7:40, which is when they're gonna do the Diablo 2 remake thing.
wherever I went.
So in
and then I finally graduated high school in
18
Frankfurt,
minutes.
Germany, and what was so amazing
Yeah.
about Frankfurt is
All right, I'll
it's
see you in
immersed
18
in,
minutes. You
classic
better be
medieval
punctual.
culture. And
This
at
is
that
your
time,
favorite
I-
it was so in
yeah, I won't.
fantasy, so that really, fed into
Tag me in
inspiration
general.
for what I was doing. On top of that, there were
What
a
they
lot of direct
want.
influences. Being a child of the 70s, there was a lot of pulp horror mags and comics at the
some
time.
point, I
But
need to
think
run
my
to the
primary
store
influence is the literature.
before,
even more
like,
so than movies.
midnight.
Big fan of Robert E. Howard.
Oh, I'm sure once
series,
Troco takes over.
Edward Burroughs,
Yeah, I don't know how
and
long this is
Uh,
going.
but
Where's
one
the
of my
Bli- I need to
biggest
pull the
influences
BlizzCon
was
schedule.
the Elric series by Michael Moorcock, and I think he was one of the first people to really put together,
Oh, he's going until midnight with
I
Persona
barely know a little bit
5
about
shit?
this, but
Is
could
that what he
you,
said?
tell
Where'd
us
he
a
say
bit
that?
about Grandma's basement?
That's what the schedule says for me. Because if that's the case, then I'm just gonna have to just play
even as a kid, if you gave me a choice of a fuzzy
like
bear,
Valheim or Minecraft off
2 years
stream.
old, and a skull.
Oh yeah, we can play
Well,
Valheim
the
off
skull,
stream
I
too
had
if
to
he's
have
gonna
the
be
skull,
going.
and
But we
I
can
don't
take
Yeah.
over
understand
around
what
midnight
that's
for a
all
few
about.
hours.
Things I often
Yeah.
point out to maybe help people understand this is
I don't want
if you were
2017 schedule, you
maybe
fuck.
go to a group of elementary school kids and give them assignment to draw a toaster, they would all be like, oh, no, that's boring, I don't want to do that. But if you said,
Oh, I watched the Mortal Kombat trailer, dude. Looks so good.
Oh yeah, I tweeted about that. That shit does
Yeah.
look good. Look, it's got a red band
one of
too,
the
which
many
means
things
it's gonna be
that
even more
worked me
violent than
down
the original
path
ones.
that I have gone. My grandmother's basement was dug out.
Oh, I got that from the trailer right off the bat too. Even without seeing that, it was just like seeing like the dude's arms get ripped off and like,
all the cracks.
yeah.
But the basement had one light bulb, so my brother and I would go down there at night, and the game was to turn the light bulb off. And who could stand there long enough without turning it on?
Dude,
and having the over
Mario is
imagination that I
missing
had,
after
I
Hotel
always
Mario.
felt- I always felt like fingers and claws were.
All right, chat.
I think that's one of the many things that has perhaps warped me and sent me down the path that I am now upon. So Devin, I have a question for you. Devin, can you perhaps tell us a bit about your early influences?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
think we'll be done.
Let's see. The most obvious would be Diablo
By the time
itself.
Troco wants
it
to start?
came out. I was like 3 years old, and it was on your computer.
Yeah, because this
like,
can't go on
from the
forever.
get-go. So I've been.
I'm looking-
playing
I'm
that
literally
pretty much
looking
my
at the
whole life.
schedule and it's
so
being a
I guess
bitch.
my delve into game design kind of started at like that early of an age, and it never really stopped.
Chat, by the way, we're talking about opening up the Minecraft server to not just subs only. We'll make it to where you can be a sub and a non-sub to play it, but we'll still have to do a whitelisting.
You and Killian played.
So it's not just 100% public, you'd still have to be whitelisted.
Oh, yeah. So it's funny when you're born into that, you don't really realize that it's any different really until you go over to your friend's
know.
house and then you realize like,
Oh, 8 p.m.
where's all the
EST.
skulls?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay,
where's
good.
the-
It's an Eastern
where's
time. I
the
thought
battle
it
axe
said PST.
in the corner, you know?
So yeah, we'll be done by
All families should have
8:30.
weapons and skulls. What's going on?
Here.
Yeah, okay.
Around then when I
Yeah.
started realizing
So an
that
hour,
something
it's an hour
was a
left.
bit different with our family. But no, more seriously though, like it was great. Like I feel like both you and Mom
StarCraft
always
Legends
encouraged me
matches
and
going the whole
Killian
time down here?
to follow like creative passions, even if it wasn't like
But
traditional art.
to
just
prevent
whatever
griefing
you
and stuff like
were
that,
passionate
chat,
about
because
and
we
enjoyed
know,
doing,
you know,
yours
that is a
guide us in that
possibility. We will be
direction,
moving the
which
spawn
was
as
very
well
hard to come
away
by in,
a good amount of
more,
blocks
like,
away,
normal
so that way your
suburban,
guys' houses and
community
villages
that
that you have built beautifully and amazingly, and how hard you guys have worked,
Absolutely,
will be intact
bit
and,
about how
you know,
first broke into the industry.
protected for a while.
Spawn. If we bring in
I've
free to
always
plays,
drawn
we'll move
horror
Spawn
and
so that
monsters
they're
and
less
fantasies.
likely to fucking
My earliest memories is
find and
grief
grief and stuff
when
like
I
that. Yeah.
graduated high school, you know, I wanted to find out a way to make a living at that. So I signed up for a 2-year commercial art school.
This is just filler, bro.
And
I don't care about this filler.
Teach us was how to draw and paint, which was the main reason.
Oh, it's just talking behind the scenes of the developer's inspiration,
It's also
basically.
kill.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
exactly.
Turn on the audio
You
for
love
Hearthstone
to
right now.
see it. Wow. Unless you're a Crypt fan, then you obviously hate it. But
Chick's got
nice
crazy
job, Radu.
tattoos.
So now we're in the top 2 going up against Tice. A little G2 face-off.
Ooh, double attack on deflect though.
Huge. That's really big.
Woods, we
So
used to play
we're in a
Diablo
spot
like
where if we
all the
find
time.
a third
Diablo is a lot of fun.
Do we want to buy that? I don't think so, right?
No, I was offered a third deflector bot like 3 turns ago and I declined it because I think you want the spread on the Divine Shields.
Makes sense to me.
You can watch
I would
Truth or
triple
Nate
the
play
egg.
that shit.
Look at the deflector. I'm not gonna buy it.
Curio, I actually built a jail cell, man, that is surrounded by bedrock. So they can't mine out, nor can someone mine in to get them.
If I don't get it.
And I literally can set it as a prison for a specific player. And there's no torches there. There's no nothing in there. It's just pitch black. It's actually based off of a real castle prison that they would throw in actual, like, really hardcore, you know, evil people.
The game just
So,
keeps giving me deflector
you know,
bots.
yeah.
I don't want them. No thank you, game. I'm good.
It's not worth. Tice is
Like,
at
and
30
even if they have
HP,
ladders,
that's
they
really
can't build out of there. Because eventually they'll run out.
positioning
And we can wipe their inventory, so.
Droplet later to play around the
Of any sort of
wild
items
fire.
that could help them. Yeah, there are no windows. It's literally pitch black, man. So skeletons can spawn in there, creepers can spawn in there, zombies can spawn in there. They'd just be... it's just a pit of darkness, so... yeah. But that's for the real naughty players. The real
The game
naughty
also ended
players.
super early. Like, if the game would have lasted, I don't know, 8 more turns, I would have won. I'm joking.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think that a lot of times if you get second with Cthulhu, that feels like a first, so good job, Radu. Well done. And hey, a G2 top 2.
Thank you very much. Yeah, losing to my teammate is also
the
nice.
only way you want to go out. If you're gonna lose, it better be the dice.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so there you have it. Radu takes the second place. G2 with a sweep for the top 2. As Tice now moves.
Yeah, it's not open to non-subs yet. Even though as code it is a sub,
tied with him, and
I'll open it for you, but
top 4 for the rest of the lobby. Pretty close, but very far behind.
I'll
the other
whitelist
half
you.
as
Just let me know.
Victor,
Let me know your
Slissa,
name.
Educated Collins, and
Yeah,
Dog.
yeah, Mr. Pie. I do have to whitelist him. Yes, you are correct.
What's up, Victor? Talk to me about some of your choices. Millhouse or Ragnaros? I think is what people gravitate towards. Is there any other picture considering here?
Yeah, this is a tough one. I'm looking at Max or Ben, so I'm leaning towards Millhouse more than Rag. Because Ragnaros hero power synergize with Deflectobot mostly. And Dragon is available. A lot of
Give me a moment to launch Minecraft.
Economy generators are available. So I'm going to go with Millhouse here.
Oh,
I'm trying to be economy efficient and then trying to triple into a Caligos. Or I can go Monadri. There are choices. No token on the first shop here though. A little disappointing.
It's very disappointing and all too common. That's what I was saying. I love your optimism that you think that you can get tokens early, because I very rarely do as Millhouse.
Hold on, it's loading
I'm
up.
just floating gold.
Loading.
The deck swabby is also pretty good. It's counted as a token because they allow you to level 1 gold cheaper.
Just like so.
Just by this minion here. I really don't like Red Weaver with
Just like that.
Floating Watcher.
And that's the server address.
That's true. Floating Watcher not being in the game makes the Wrath Weaver dynamic a lot harder to justify.
For you chatteroonies.
Demons were in a good spot, and I think right now people are still trying to figure out what they can do with some of the new additions.
Demon just doesn't suit Melhouse very well. Because in order to get a lot of demons, you need to be rolling a lot. And Melhouse in the mid game cannot roll.
It's true.
So I opt to not take the demon route here.
Alright.
We got a token plus beast combo here. It's pretty good tempo and economy as well.
It's good. When you look at the rest of the lobby complexion in terms of the heroes, do you feel like this is a powerful lobby, or do you feel like it's one that you feel like you're on the better end of stuff with Millhouse?
This is a powerful lobby. I see Crip on Finley here got Elise and Tice is also on an actual release. 2 Elise lobbies are just insanely like strong lobby, right? And also you have RDU on the Reno here. Reno have a lot of
Ascode, is it
if you hit
Bedrock that you play or Java? Because this is a Java server.
Strong top 4 heroes like Collins on George. We see Dog on Rick Cannonshoe. Those are very strong top 4 heroes.
It's saying the username you gave is incorrect.
So I think this is going to be a hard one if I don't hit the Calicos.
Alright, well,
Same player does not exist.
Yep, we got an early triple here. I'm actually gonna buy the hyena first and then lock this triple.
Interesting.
I'll buy this slowly. I want to get a triple when I'm on tier 4 at least, trying to hit that brand.
Yeah, it is. It is case sensitive. So any capitals,
I can even go
definitely is something you have to put in there. Yeah.
I can get a strong board. I can lock the triple for a long time. I can actually get a tier 6.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I think a lot of people like wonder about how to balance that, right? Like how long am I going to freeze this for versus go for the immediate.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
There are a lot of factors that go into it.
Oh, Nate, when we do end up playing Valheim,
yeah,
our next priority has to be
expanding
the walls around the base. Because like right after you got offline last night, I stayed on just to process some more bronze to make the shield and a sword.
Right.
And I was just sitting in the base, and fucking, since I guess we've beaten the second boss, everything is scaling up. Because instead of our base just getting attacked by wild boars and fucking... like
those little gremlin things, Greylings, yeah.
2 trolls attacked the base at the same time.
Oh, I don't really
2 trolls.
Yeah, I killed them
I can't hold this,
by just getting them to focus on me instead of because they started smashing all the torches around the outside first, and then they smashed my fucking cart, and then they started trying to attack the houses and the walls.
Victor, you
but
have
I just got their attention and like let them away and shot them to death with arrows.
I'm trying to stay quiet.
And the second one fucking killed me, but I killed it like at the same time.
It's like we're just
yeah, so bigger shit is trying to attack us now.
Okay, it must be. You know what? I bet the more bosses you fight, the bigger the stuff they'll will come after you. I bet that's what it is.
Well, yeah, everything's just scaling up now that we've beaten the bosses and shit.
Yeah.
So we're gonna need better defenses. I know you can eventually build castles in this game too, like full-on stone castles and shit. So I know you love that.
Yeah, I want to figure out how to.
We just gotta keep increasing our workbench level and get new minerals.
Yeah.
Just keep freezing all the way up. All right.
Yep.
Looks like your game plan is set. We're gonna check back in because I feel like we're gonna end on a high note. I don't want things to go south and then feel responsible for it. So let's go ahead and check in on RDU, who's on Reno.
All right, thank you.
All right, Radu. So looking at your start, looks like you got a Midas Stormwind dynamic going on here. Are you feeling good about your Reno start here?
Yes, but I need a triple, or I need to like put myself in a position
after
where I can
the
fight
second to last boss God comes. Are you serious? That's ridiculous.
So next turn I need to get pretty good outcome.
I don't even know what that means.
Like, this is going to
Talking
carry
about
me for like
Odin?
1 or 2
Like,
more
what do you mean
fights,
God
but
tone?
if I whiff, in the
Probably
next turn,
Odin,
it's
yeah.
still gonna not go well.
Right.
Or the
It's a
hardest
good
boss
spot,
or
it's a good
something.
spot.
I'm just reading what
Yeah, you need to find
Curios
something
says.
that you want to use your hero power on.
We are watching
the later you use
BlizzCon.
it, the
We
less
have
turns
all
you have
6
of it
of the
impacting
BlizzCon
the game, so.
streams playing.
I
Because
don't
they
know
were
how many games
stupid
you've
and
had,
split
Radu,
them
where
all
you
up.
died not using the hero
We have a main
power, but
focus
I am
on
so
the
sad
Diablo
for that. It's
stream
happened to me
because
more
that's what
than
me and Gresh care about the most. You got World of Warcraft up
happen
here,
that often,
Overwatch
actually.
down here,
I like to
StarCraft
think
down
that,
here,
I
Hearthstone
can go
over
into
here. And then this is
defense
just the
mode
main
and just, like,
channel
heal
that's
power
kind of like
anything just to
replaying
like
shit
get 1 more
across
turn
all
if I
of
feel like
them.
I'm in danger.
Yeah.
Diablo
It's
is
just that,
muted
like, one of
right
these
now
things
because
where
they're
you're at,
doing
like,
like some
19
filler
health, and you're like, okay, I
panel
think, like, maybe
before
I should be
Diablo
able to
2
survive, and you realize you
Remastered
fall
starts. That's
way
what we're
over
going to be
cliff,
geeking out
and
on
you just
the
take, like,
most.
22, and then like you went from like 4th
And then
to
Hearthstone
7th.
Audio is playing while they're in
Happens
this
so often.
filler that I don't care about.
Yeah, it's really bad when it happens.
Yes, Boo drops tonight, 1 a.m. Eastern.
Are you summoning on him?
It's not a summon, he's an event character.
Oh, he's an event character. Well, that's cool.
It's a grindable Buhan.
That's cool. Is he any good or?
This is pretty okay.
Ramping up eco.
Should put this faster.
What?
Is he any good? Is he a good unit
And I
or?
think that partially what makes it.
He's an early game burst damage unit with a ton of buffs.
So theoretically, you know, other people should be getting the edge.
He's
over
gonna
you
be
slightly
pretty good.
every single time, and
Okay.
pretty healthy at 38. So it feels
Yeah,
like
the
this
event
is a
probably will
spot
be
where
time
Reno
gated,
can,
which doesn't matter because I'm not going to be fucking
definitely
playing that
win.
shit tonight anyway.
I think
I'll
because
probably
we're
wait
first
until
rate, in
like
my opinion. I think you're
towards
leaning
the
more
end of
towards
the
first
event
rate.
and then just do it all in one fucking sitting.
We'll see. You're going up against Kibler, so let's go.
He's
ahead
not
and
going to
check
break
in
the
on
game,
him.
but he'll
Yeah,
be
good
alright.
luck, Radu.
What's up, Pappy?
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Kibler, aka Uther Lightbringer, how is everything looking? Wow,
Appreciate
an
that Prime
early
sub,
Mama
dog.
Bear, and you want to be playing
Twitch Prime,
these-
not a crime. Gentleman and a
This has gotta be
scholar.
feeling pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I feel like the Mama Bear at this point, turn 6, is obviously pretty powerful. We're a little weak right now, you know, but I feel like if we can find some good beasts, especially with the Grave of Power, we should be able to.
What's up, Ninja Bros?
get back
So
in.
Gresh is eating dinner because in like
Yeah, I think so as well. And you know this
13 minutes
bad
ish,
as it wasn't bad. Yeah.
the Diablo 2 panel is about to start, and that's what
one
we
of the things
care about the
Grave Bow,
most.
You know, there I only had the one Scallywag, but that Scallywag starting turn 1 has been just so good. You know, like it's the Scallywag, then the Imprisoner, like each helping.
Hey,
me
we
win tons of
appreciate it.
Fights, you know, thanks to the
Right
bonus
now
stats
we're just covering special events.
Yep.
At 9 p.m. I think Troko wants to take over to play some PS5 game. I don't know. He's gonna do that for 3 hours, and then me and Nate will probably take back over with something. We just want to play Valheim, but you know, I don't know if chat wants to watch that
Does
constantly.
the fact
so
that Tice at 40
maybe
scare
we'll
you
figure
at all?
something out.
He's on Elise
Yeah.
again.
There's not very many really good
Games out of
like co-op online games that are really good for Twitch.
So far 2-0 in these games.
She's pretty strong, I heard.
But I think I'm pretty strong right now. I feel all right. But you know, at
It's
least
good
those
because as
5
soon as we
years have
end
some power.
here after
right,
like 8:30,
And do you feel like you just
then
gotta stay on beast for the
I
rest
gotta
of the
run to
game
the
here,
store real
or
quick and
is
buy
there
a
any
couple
opportunities? I know you
things
have a lot of
since
pirates,
the weather's
but
back
there
to
are
normal, and then I'll come back, Nate, and we can just play Valheim off
You know, I don't
camera
really
for a
have
little
much
bit.
experience with Grey Bow.
Maybe
I
we
Yeah,
can,
for sure.
we can
We're obviously
beef up the
looking to
base and
constantly
do
try
some of
to
the
take
boring
advantage of
stuff
power
off stream so
beasts,
that we
like,
can,
drop
if
off
we
pretty
stream it, we
quickly
can
if
just
you don't
look for the
get,
third
like,
boss.
optimal stuff. So I'm a little concerned.
Don't worry, IHT, Ziano, we're not really watching it either. We're just waiting for Diablo 2 to start. This is all filler until Diablo 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just the developers talking about like the making of the game, you know, what they enjoy. It's just behind the scenes.
And then just
Yeah.
random people are playing StarCraft in the bottom left.
Nope.
All we care about is Diablo.
Yeah.
That was all bad.
Ninja Bros, I appreciate that.
There we go. Fight against that. All right. Still lose, but not that bad.
Yep, it could have been worse.
Funny enough, if you were playing Valheim, we never would got such a great history lesson. Yeah, man, I really appreciate that.
You won't be playing him in the very
I really do. Thank you.
What are you talking about, Jake? You talking about Troko's stream? I mean, we can't really do much of it. Much about it. He's on the schedule. We're not just gonna kick him out of the way.
Kind of appealing, if only for trying.
Variety is the spice of life, as they say.
Though we're on 4 right now, now, so we're still pretty far from it. I don't know if I can really afford
I'm back.
to like, be that.
Welcome back.
I might just take
You have missed nothing. It's just all filler
Yeah,
on
just
all
given that
5
you're 15
screens
feet,
until
I feel like you're
Diablo
in kind of
comes back up.
preservation mode as opposed
Should be coming back up like right now.
to spike.
At 740?
Yeah.
Or was it 745?
level, but at the same
No,
time,
740.
Alyssa just hit for 6.
And then this goes until 8:30, and the whole show ends at 8:30, I think.
Yeah, and then tomorrow we also have shit to do.
Yeah, we can cover more tomorrow. What time does it start again at 5 p.m. tomorrow too?
Yeah. Actually, there's a Diablo Q&A at 3 tomorrow.
Just
Actually, it
Diablo,
looks like there's Q&As for everything at 3.
Just like
For an
general
hour.
Diablo, or like 1 and 4, 2 specifically, or just general?
No, just as general. I assume that's what the question is going to go to that I've submitted.
Like I was saying, I really want to try and find a Goldrun, right? Like if we are going to be a BeastCon, Goldrun is by far the most important thing, and these are pairs of units that work well with my hero power.
Right.
So,
No, that makes sense.
They're still just doing this interview shit up here on the Diablo
one
screen.
off, able to kill that there.
Yeah.
Oh, so many one-offs here. This is.
All right, I'm going to throw this shit out. I'll be back in 1 minute.
What did you eat for dinner, Gresh?
I had yakitori.
What, Japanese food?
Yeah, it's like chicken skewers.
Oh, okay. I need ideas. I'm hungry.
Yeah, taking a big chunk of damage. I am alive. I'm at like 2 here, right?
Okay, I feel bad. I feel like things were looking okay, and then we started watching. So we're gonna head out, and good luck, Kibler.
Thank you. I don't even get the ghost.
Okay, all right.
Oof.
Okay, Slissa. So it looks like you are just crushing people and pressuring their life totals pretty significantly. The gold. Or sorry, I was looking at someone else's board. Looks like you're doing pretty well for yourself.
Yeah, I was like, me? I'm doing okay. Just trying to like get back in the game, find direction. I have a menagerie direction. The problem is I don't have brand or light fig. I'm just kind of forcing what tempo I can find, but haven't found like a good opportunity to level.
Right. And you're like holding pairs.
Yeah, I got a lot of pairs going on here.
All right, turn the volume on.
So I'm trying to figure out. So I have
Oh,
a
they're back?
dragon, an elemental.
This is to our surprise
a
announcement
so
today.
I can play this jug.
Diablo II
I don't
Resurrected.
think-
After 20 years, the genre
Way looking forward to the most,
legendary
Nas.
game is back.
Just
but
the
now
whole
as a
fucking
full
game, bro.
HD remaster. That's
I loved
4K
everything about
visuals,
Diablo 2.
7.1 sound, and a shot-for-shot remake of all
It's
the
16
cinematics.
by 9.
It's been a great partnership.
The
working with
PvP, the
various visions on
multiplayer.
game, and we're
I
so
wonder
glad
what
we're
item
now
set
officially
they're
part
gonna
of the
go
Blizzard
with. Like,
family.
is it gonna be
So
like
to
during
give you
the
more
height,
info and
the
detail
peak
on,
of
I'm
Diablo,
very
like
excited
1.17 and
that V2 speedrunner and
1.18,
content
or was
creator
it
Mr.
1.07 and
Rama hosts a
1.08 rather?
roundtable with
Sorry.
members of the development team, both Blizzard and VV, as they answer all his burning questions.
Are they gonna show they're showing this again? All right.
The only thing I don't like about Diablo 2 is early game on brand new characters. Like, you gotta get.
Yeah, but it doesn't last that long.
No, especially when power leveling became a thing. Mr. Llama SC.
What the fuck is that? StarCraft person?
This was his reaction.
All right,
I have
we're gonna
no
watch
idea.
the video sent to us.
They're showing someone's reaction.
I guess.
Wait, we got Kane back? Oh, it's 2. It's 2. It's Diablo 2 Remastered. It's Diablo 2 Remastered. Come on. Come on.
This dude's reaction isn't even over the top.
Yeah.
It's not.
Wait till he sees the actual game, though.
There we
That
go.
the action's
I knew
really
it was
good.
There, somewhere. Somewhere out there I knew. Somewhere out there. Yo, sick. Ooh, love the campfire. Oh, that multi-shot looks awesome. Wow.
The Necromancer looks really good.
Yeah, he does. And the Hammerdin looks good too. I'm gonna have my Magic Find Sorceress, my Magic Find Paladin,
And console. Okay.
my fucking PvP Barbarian
Alright.
and Druid.
That'll be interesting. Oh, that leap attack was awesome.
Diablo looks really good as well.
Yeah,
the
the
Diablo
Pandemonium
is
Fortress
gorgeous.
and the Chaos Sanctuary and whatnot. That whole area is gonna look amazing.
Oh, Resurrected.
Dude, this. What if they just announced that this was coming out in like March?
I would.
So that was
be
super exciting.
so happy.
I'm Mr. LMSC. I am a Twitch streamer. I have been playing Diablo 2 for 20 years, streaming it for 6 years. I probably have over 25,000 hours in this game and just absolutely love it.
25,000 hours?
That's
ridiculous.
I have to just, of course, ask a very first high-level question. Why the D2 remaster right now?
Well, Diablo 2 is a very special game to Blizzard, as many of you well know, and Diablo 2 also had its 20th year anniversary. So with that, we really wanted to stay true to what that authentic experience was for Diablo 2 and bring it to the current audience and improve it for the existing audience and invite new people to experience it for the first time. It's also good learning opportunities too for us, especially when we're partnering up with Vicarious Visions now to work on a remaster projects like this together.
So it's been a great partnership. We've actually worked with
Yeah, I
Blizzard
remember when this
for
game
a while
came
now,
out.
a couple years, even starting with some BattleNet integration type things. We just finished Tony Hawk Remaster. Before that, we did Crash Bandicoot Remaster, and it just seemed like a perfect match for us to work together.
It was a shock to my system to first to
The same
come in and then see
studio
that
that helped
it's a remastered
remaster
trailer.
Crash
Was
Bandicoot
not
is helping with
expecting
this.
that. But then to see the complete shift in the design and the art and everything, and I'd really love to hear
So good.
more about how
Look at
you
that
Yeah,
cow.
honestly.
Look at
process or
Mephisto.
It doesn't look that much
how you
different than
want to
D3.
remaster the look of it, right? How you wanted it to visually exist.
Dude, fuck Diablo
And I'd love
3
to
and
bring
4.
in
I
Chris
wish on
Emerald
this.
to talk about some of that. Chris, can you discuss a little bit of the philosophy and the design decisions around this remaster?
So luckily we had a ton of good inspiration from the original D2 art. Our primary focus is always nostalgia, right? We want to make sure we focus on getting this right and deliver an authentic experience that players remembered from 20 years ago. Every choice we make with the art, with the models, with the environments should really ignite that nostalgia and then reinforce that emotional connection from the original game.
Dude looks
So
like
Mm-hmm.
then we
Goku with
came
his
up with
orange
like a
and blue.
70-30 visual guide.
You see
70%
that?
is basically the classic. This is where we don't touch. We don't touch what works, right? We want to maintain those iconic shapes, colors, tones. Everything should be one-to-one and faithful.
Do you like
We
tobacco,
want them to
do?
feel authentic and preserve those
Looks
original
so
designs.
good.
With the 30% new, that's kind of where we're going to elevate that art. Every change we make should really signify that step forward visually.
I also noticed that the game was 3D, and can you talk a little bit about the discussion or how you moved and some challenges moving from 2D to 3D?
Well, I mean, evolving from a 2D sprite game, like a 2D image game, to a 3D is very challenging. We basically had to write a complete new PBR renderer, so a physically based renderer on top of the old game logic. It's difficult because
He
you're
does
dealing
look
with
like Goku.
models versus 2D sprites, where you have to basically write. You have.
I mean, that does look like it takes a
dynamic lighting,
shitload of work. I
you
mean, it looks
have
way
dynamic
better.
Dude, look at
effects.
it all zoomed
A
in.
lot of that
God
is
damn.
an additional system that we have to work out on our end.
It's
So,
like rebuilt
the
from
follow-up to that
scratch.
question, I suppose,
Yeah.
is I wasn't able to see any items when I was watching that trailer. Are all of the items also going to be remastered? All of the gems, all of every single piece of this? And what sorts of flavor did you decide to add to that artwork?
So everything is being redone. So we remodeled everything because everything has to drop in the game. So you have your icon
damn.
art, and then you have your 3D.
The
space
coif of
art
glory
that
and the
flips, right?
Grandmaster.
So we had to basically model everything.
And Bone Snap.
And as far as the inspiration,
I remember it all.
We actually were inspired by some original documentation that we found from Blizzard North, where there was a huge Word doc of where
Never
the
used
original
Bone
artist
Snap.
pulled
Bone Snap was
inspiration from.
trash.
So a lot of that was
Rip
very
Blizzard North.
historical landmarks, locations, and very,
Right.
very much real world referencing. So that was kind of where we kind of pulled our inspiration as well. We wanted that functional design that the
Luke
original art
Ghislaine.
had. Everything felt like it was believable, and that detail really does help to give it some realistic context and makes you feel more immersed in the game. It makes you feel like you're part of this world when you can see every little buckle and strap.
I remember when we went into the tavern and there was garlic hanging from a beam, and we're all like, what's the garlic? And this is all full 3D everything. And then they're like, oh yeah, there was garlic in the old game. We go back and it's like 4 white sprites, and you're like, holy cow, yeah, garlic, and there's hams hanging and everything. So it was really cool to see it almost for the first time.
And it's funny because original SD, like it was made in all 3D. So we actually came across a bunch of screenshots that were a different camera. Like it wasn't the isometric camera. It was like either marketing art or something else, or maybe just exploration. But there was shots of that garlic in the original art. You could never really see it in the pixel art, but it was there. So it was telling that they were really
Garlic
trying
Jr.
to achieve
confirmed.
something very,
Look, he looks like
very
Goku.
grand
Talking
with
about
this
garlic.
I'm not gonna lie, I never knew that they had garlic hanging in there. I mean, maybe a couple white sprites. I thought they were maybe candles, or who knows? No clue. But that makes me excited to go look around now and just like explore all of the areas in the game, just to look at the new detailed art and see what was.
Well, you see it now too, because also we have the one new feature for the art on the art side of things is a zoom camera. So it'll help you get in there and look at all the details. Like it was something that I really felt strongly that like a lot of ARPGs that come out now all have a zoom feature. So this will really get you up and close and personal with like your armor, your weapons, like everything, the runes.
Dude, it looks so good.
Another way to look at it too is our legacy toggle feature, where you can flip back between the old visuals of the game and our current visuals.
That's
it's not
really
even just
fucking
a
cool,
simple
too.
art.
Yeah, that's the
style.
one I'm.
It
That's
is
what I'm
really
excited
built
about. You can actually
running
just,
underneath.
if you want to
Like
play the old way, you
Chris
can.
was mentioning, our new art engine our graphics engine is running on top of the game, and is mimicking what is running underneath. It's still following all the same data and rules and timings of everything. So we are still being true to that 25 frames per second of what the game is underneath, but rendering it in a way that has more frames per second.
Yeah, I'd love to hear more about that specifically, because when I go into Diablo 2, I'm thinking 25 FPS, and like you said, the game is built on that. My faster casting, my hit recovery, all of this stuff is built on 25 FPS. So how do you create a game that's 60 FPS?
So all of the logic and how the game talks with the server and everything like that runs on that cycle, and that hasn't changed. So we still have benchmarks in all of our content, say for animations of when a hit frame occurs, how long it can recover, and all of that. That all matches exactly. Now it can run at a faster frame rate, and so modern games run on time, not frames. So we've done that. But all of the logic still runs on those same things. So you can wait for your breaks to occur. All of those things still happen at the exact same. And that was through no small effort, but it's super important, right? Because even if you can't see it right away, you feel it when it's different. We've done that on lots of areas. So for example, the original game only had so many sprites to render your rotation. So you'd have your character and they're rendered out at so many angles, and the monsters even less. But you could actually walk at greater directions, right? You have, I think it was 64 different squares around you that you would path to, and you'd have feet sliding. We've increased that, so now there's more granularity. Obviously it's 3D, your character can run straight, but underneath the hood, I mean, this is a game made back when the inspiration was tabletop games, and so the game is a grid. So it still respects that grid, right? Like on the controller will still allow you to move small amounts because you push the stick a little bit, but it's still, you're either in a run state or a walk state, stamina's still a thing, you're still on a grid. Like all of that logic, once again, is all being driven by the old game. That hasn't changed.
Rob was mentioning animation. Animation is also like it was very challenging because
no one's muted. We're just listening to them talk.
You only had a few of the frame counts basically make that animation. So it wasn't like a modern game where you have tons of different keys to make it very fluid animation.
Yes,
we had to really like
Chrono
maintain
Trigger
that timing, that pace. The posing was a big focus for us too. We wanted to get those iconic poses for each character. And then just align that silhouette.
So continuing the talk of visuals, I want to talk about characters, cosmetics, how they look. Because I know something that I love with Diablo 2 is just putting on, a scale mail, putting on a full plate mail, putting on a sacred armor, and seeing the character like have the different change and all of that. But some things still don't like reflect over in the color of it or whatnot, right? Some do, some don't. Is there going to be changes there, or is it just enhancing all of those visuals and making them just look even cooler?
So our goal was to basically be one-to-one with parity with the original game. So we built every piece of armor that was in the original game and is now in the remastered version.
Arcane's
the
valor.
only difference we did is with the icon items. So we actually now we have a more connected visual with the icon and the item that drops in the game. Where before you had different visuals. That's really the only thing we pushed on as far as modernization.
Yeah, so like shields or weapons, a lot of the unique items that you find in the game had special kind of icon arts, right? And that is something we're actually going to be showing on your character in the new visuals.
That definitely excites me. I think that's something a lot of people would love to see, a lance guard and have the cool stuff actually on their character there.
It will be the same model you see on those icons.
Are we going to see remastering of the cinematics in the game?
Yes, we are. Yep, the entire full 28 minutes or whatever is going to be all remastered with new high fidelity art. It's going to look amazing, by the way. So
will the sound in those also be remastered, and any other sound in the game be remastered?
All of the audio has been remastered, as well as we've added additional surround sound features. There's more ambient, there's more effects going on. It's just a richer experience if you want to play with your, full setup. However, we have to use that measured hand as well with audio. There's just a lot of very, very iconic sounds that we really couldn't change, right? Like, if you put a skull into your inventory, that pop noise,
Don't change my skull sound.
Exactly, right? So there are certain things you're gonna, you'll hear. For like your footsteps running will have some variety. When the rain kicks in, it's going to have a lot more depth. When you go to the jungle, you'll hear a lot more life in those trees.
I fucking hated
but
that
yeah,
Mind
there's just
Flayer
some
jungle.
sounds we couldn't mess with, right?
With Blizzard, when we're creating new games, one of our design philosophies is to what we call find the fun. And when we were looking at D2 again, we very much felt like the fun is still there. So it's actually one of our core pillars for Diablo II Resurrected specifically was to keep the fun and keep it at its core. And because of that, we're looking at it more as a remaster at that point, and like what can we do based on what the community wants or what features naturally are necessary for making this game run on modern day systems and things like that.
I think also we want to thank and appreciate the fan base, right? This is really a true nod to the original game. We want to preserve that game and the structure of that game as much as we can. And if we went with the remake, it would be a completely different game. So I think that was the reason why we chose this.
Speaking, from my experience or from some of my community's experience and the discussions we've had, we definitely felt like with Diablo 2, a remaster just seemed like the way to go, because there's so many, like you said, there's so many of those tiny details within the game that overall, when you add them up, create such a big part of the experience of the game. And remaking that into a new game could be a challenge, and could also be a challenge in keeping the fun of the game in that way. I kind of look at it a little bit like StarCraft Brood War, which also had a remaster, and how it's like a lot of the pathing bugs and the duds from the Reavers and all of these things in the game that were kind of awful are what make the game beautiful and what make the game super balanced. And if you were to go and remake it and remove some of those issues, it would change how the whole entire game plays. And so I felt like with Diablo 2, that's kind of the same idea, right? You got to keep some of those difficult details, because then it ends up creating the overall experience that we all know and love.
Yeah, we also felt that, for a game during its time back in 2000, based on limitations, or everyone was still looking at strategy guides or just limited internet, it led to that kind of typical game design you see, where there was a lot of mystery, discovery.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back. We felt like that was another part of, part of keeping the fun, which was to maintain that discovery of the game as well.
So, speaking to maintaining and possibly changing, what are the pieces that did end up staying the same, Or if it's easier to explain the other way, what are the pieces that were really changed to bring this remaster to life?
So at its core, we want it to still be the same. So right away, things like the balance, the monsters you see on the spawn rates, item drops, and things like that are the same. And what we're doing is trying to take any of the rough edges you see, compatibility issues, resolution issues, and obviously the art, improving the arts as well. All these kinds of things you come to know from a remaster, but still maintaining very much what the game is. So,
and when it comes to the features we added, this is probably the biggest area where we scrutinize so much. Is this addition straying too much? You know, does it still create the same gameplay experience and other things like that? So things like a shared stash, we know people use mule characters, right? And so adding a shared stash we felt was the right choice. When it
we have a shared stash?
We have a shared stash.
Yeah. Oh, they added a shared stash.
Oh, thank God.
Muling
now,
was
the
terrible.
way that the shared stash works is there are rules, right? You can't have your ladder characters mixing a stash with a non-ladder character, and you can have your offline characters, you know, can't use your online. But for the most part, we're like, people do this anyway with a mule character, so it's okay to give them this feature.
That is like the greatest feature that you could add.
Yes,
because
without
there's
touching
nothing
the original,
worse
that was a
than
good update.
opening up the game, going in, dropping all your GG items to mule them over because you've run out of space, and then not being able to log back in, or the game's not created, or it didn't perm in time, and losing all of your gear, or trying to find someone to help you transfer your gear over. Because, oh my gosh, a shared stash is amazing. Thank you so much.
I hope they didn't fucking trade.
Like I said, maintaining the core was a thing, but the other aspect of it was to see where we can improve, right? So the
I wonder
shared
if
stash
people are gonna
is
dupe
one of them,
Stone of
because we
Jordans
saw it as a
again.
very common concern, especially around muling, which people had workarounds anyway, right? So that is one thing. Another example is we are reimagining the UI in the game. With a new reimagined UI, we're still trying to stay very faithful to what you come to expect. So you'll still have the classic globes on the HUD screen, the skill icons, the potion belts, and all that. But we are reorganizing a little bit. You know, we're trying to integrate the menu buttons and the stamina bars closer together within the HUD, so it's built a little bit cleaner. And naturally with reimagining a UI, we have some liberties to add a few things. So going back to the information I was talking about, a big thing we're doing on the character screen is we're adding an advanced stats screen as well. So we're going to be showing you all the information you get from items as well. So you don't have to do that kind of math with like looking at each of your items and calculating how much magic find you have, for example. It'll all be like summarized right there for you.
Something that we've seen already in a lot of mods where they've gone ahead and taken that information and created a little screen. So that's really nice to see that you guys are implementing that as well. Because yeah, I don't think anybody like sitting down and counting up the magic find of every specific item, you know, and all of their charms and all of everything to figure out what is the number, how much do I have.
We've also added auto gold, so you can opt in. It is a feature you can turn off, which is one of the things we have to be careful of. You know, a handful of other things where we're like, if you want this, you can turn it on, but you can also keep it off. This was actually something that we started looking into when we were adding controller support. There's a lot of paths that we could have taken with controller support, obviously for controllers on console, which we're coming out on, but allowing just plug a controller in for accessibility reasons. For that might be the way you want to play, but it's a PC first experience. Like for example, there's still an inventory grid, there's still inventory Tetris. That's core to what Diablo 2 is, right? Taking that away, it starts to become something
Inventory
different.
Tetris.
And I love that.
I
think that's the perfect way to really introduce it, because you're going to have that split in the community. You're going to have half the people who say, just give me auto gold. It's 2020. I don't want to worry about having to pick up every individual gold stack. But then you're going to have the opposite side of purists who go, don't touch this. Like, that completely changes my game experience. And, you know, if I'm speedrunning through the game or playing through whatever, I want to be able to go over and pick up the gold stacks and take that time, and that's more a part of the Diablo 2 experience for me. I want to jump back to features in a second, But before we do, you just brought up console play, and I feel like we have to jump into console, the decision for console, and how you're gonna make that work. You already talked a little bit about like auto gold, having that to be a little more accessible. But when I think of Diablo 2, I think of a mouse going and clicking everywhere. And how does this work on a console?
To say it wasn't a challenge would be a bold lie. So there's a couple things. For the most part, the game thinks you're still using a keyboard and mouse with a controller. That was almost a rule we kept, that helped keep us on the rails, because we didn't want to be sacrificing, once again, that authentic experience. But we did want to make it more accessible, bring it to a modern audience. I mean, there are people who were born after this game came out that we want them to enjoy it and play it. And a lot of those people are used to, just more modern titles that could use a controller. Also, from an accessibility of just allowing you to plug in a controller helps for many other people to get to enjoy the game. The biggest thing I think that the two big things we'll say. One is you're changing the way you play the game from being kind of an eye in the sky and telling your hero what to do by clicking on areas to actually being your character and directing them. So pathfinding is gone, right? Because you're doing the pathfinding and things like that, which creates some very interesting things. For example, the sorceress's teleport is meant to teleport to wherever you click. So in that area, when you're playing on the console, we will have a kind of a default distance that you will teleport to. Whereas on the PC, you can click wherever you want. Same with Barbarian's Leap, although that one's interesting because it levels, but it's become a very, very fun challenge. Like, I'm a Necromancer and I need to target an item on the ground that has a certain keyword. It's working so far, but you guys will be the ultimate judge of that.
So the Iron Golem looks sweet too.
We've had a lot of talks back and forth, play testing and things like that. A big challenge we had too was categorizing, all those 300 character skills to see how each of them really play, to see what challenges there were. And yeah, like Rob mentions, the Necromancer Iron Golem is a favorite of ours to continuously talk about because of the various ways it can target. Also, like a sorcerer's telekinesis is another example.
Watching the trailer, we see the assassin and druid at the campfire. We see a druid casting tornado. I have to ask though, even still, this includes Lord of Destruction, right? This is going to be a full encompassing remaster and not just classic or just a piece?
That's correct. Yeah, we are going to be including both the base Diablo 2 and the expansion Lord of Destruction as well. And we're even keeping the mode of playing non-expansion character as well, right? So you could still play a classic barbarian, for example, and things like that.
Okay, awesome. Because that was something I was also going to ask was, will there be classic mode? Because once again, when you go to the purist, you always have the people that go back all the way and they're like, classic is pure and that's it, and I won't play anything else.
Yeah, it was very much a mode we wanted to keep. Even based on popularity, it might not be as much, but it's still a part of the game, and it still leads to interesting ways of playing too, right? A lot of it's even data driven too, so like a lot of the reasons to keep it were pretty clear to us. Like, let's make sure we're not taking something away from this remaster.
I'd love to go ahead and start talking about some of the other features, or continue talking about some of the other features.
No, what class are you going to be?
Before,
all of them.
Hearing each of these,
what's your main one
has
going to
gotten
be?
me so excited for this game.
Well, I'm going to build probably the Magic Find
Sorcerers
Sorcerers
that you felt could be changed,
so I can find
would
good
change
gear
the
for
whole
my other
flow
characters.
of the game, but just improve it a little bit.
One thing we're looking into is making it
and
easier
then
to
Barbarian
interact with
for PvP.
your stash. So having
Yeah, my
quick
main was a
keys to
barb, so
move to your stash
Whirlwind Barbarian
is one thing versus like dragging the mouse to every time you want to move something to your stash. Other things we're looking at as well are like an item comparison tooltip.
Bro, I can't
so in
imagine
case
how,
you're looking at some other
how
item,
annoying
you
it's
can
going to be to go
hold
through the grind of getting
shift
an
or
ethereal
whatever,
breath of the
control
dying
button
rune
is
for my sorcerers again.
Mapped, and then you can see what
I had one at the time. Like if you go to the Diablo sales sites, I had
is a great example
one that
of
was
us
worth
adding it, but added it with a measured
like
hand.
Perfect stat rolls
so
on it.
we don't suggest any gear for anybody. The gear in Diablo 2 is so quirky and different, and every class can use everything, that us recommending things like that actually was more confusing to people. So you hold shift and it's like, here's what you got equipped, here's what it is.
I think that's the great way to do it with Diablo 2. Because I agree. I mean, I think that's one of the best parts
I'm gonna
about
play the
Diablo
shit
2.
out of this,
The
bro.
items
We gotta
are
do
so
Magic Find
fantastic,
runs.
so unique in
Yeah,
their
I'm
own
down.
design that it would be near impossible to have a tooltip that could actually recommend one or the other. You know,
What was
'cause
the
it's all
name of
so
the Necromancer
unique
you
to every
fought in the Halls of the
situation and
Dead? Do you
character
remember
and
that?
skill build and everything.
We added 5 more
That dude always
languages,
had the good
so that's a
rune
feature
drops.
to a lot of people who speak those other languages. The whole front end is pretty much modernized now, so your character is much bigger front and center right in the beginning, and you'll have a backdrop of whatever act you're in. So that's all been streamlined. You can still play online or offline, but that flow has been improved.
So what are your favorite changes that each of you have within the game so far?
There's a lot of fun. It's fun to see a lot of the art come to life with our new visuals. So for me, one of the things I've been waiting for since like first starting on this game was to see that character creation campfire scene come to life in our new arts, and I'm really happy to see how far it's progressed, and I love seeing that. It's just such an iconic moment. It's the first thing you really see in the game before you get started, and it's amazing.
Can I say all the art? No, I'm just kidding. So we added, like Rob mentioned, we added like an act-specific screen in the front end, and it's basically this large screen where we have like a diorama of each act, and it's amazing to see because it feels like you're really there. Like you can see the detail, you can see every aspect of the scene, and like it just has that very immersive feeling to it. So that's probably my favorite part.
I think mine is a little bit more squishy. I think our game has gotten a little scarier. I think that there are certain areas in the game where just the way that the 3D lighting is and the way the sound is, and I play it on a big screen TV sometimes, and just it feels scarier. It feels creepier, a little more claustrophobic in certain areas. That's not just one feature. There's a lot of things going on there, but I think it's really, really cool. I would like to hope that had the original creators had the tools we have today, it's the experience they would have wanted to make.
Yeah, I think the lighting really helps with that too, because we're a 3D game. That's one of the biggest differences between the original games. So what the game had before with the sprites, with 3D models built into sprites, was not a true real-time lighting system. So because we're pushing that with a 3D graphics engine running on top of the game and getting actual 3D lighting inside of those kinds of caverns and corridors makes for a very interesting experience now, because it just feels more immersive with having light react around you like that.
Yeah, I would definitely say, I mean, I've only seen the trailer piece you sent me, but even from that, just seeing like down in the tunnels or the sewers or, any of those like you said, cavern, dungeonous zones, the lighting, it was darker and brighter, and then things like the skeletons with the fire, it just had like this different, I agree, creepier feel. So I haven't seen much more or anything more than you guys showed me, but there was definitely a different feel to the game, and I loved the fire the most. I think just watching like the sorceress meteor was like gorgeous.
Fire and lightning, once we got all the effects up and running, that was definitely a couple of times where we would be just in a review and we're like, oh, like, and 10 minutes would go by and we're like, oh crap, we had a meeting, we were just playing now. Another thing that kind of goes without saying, that just because it's parody, but 8-player multiplayer, that just works, but once again, it was tricky to get that going.
So with multiplayer,
all right, boys, what up?
Are there going to be any changes, any
We've been covering BlizzCon for 3 hours and 20 minutes.
PvP to
this has been a really good BlizzCon.
How players interact.
Do you like Diablo?
Besides D2,
blocking each other.
What else?
All sorts of stuff.
So with multiplayer,
D2, D4,
we want
Diablo
to keep all the
Immortal,
features you've known and loved.
The Burning Crusade
So
Classic
PvP will
server
still
for
be
WoW.
there down to
Hearthstone getting a wipe and a reset.
Trading
for a
is
new
still going to
mode.
function the same.
Oh yeah, by the way,
as
that
you
mercenary mode comes
go to
out
games,
in like
trade
Q1 or
items,
something.
Talking chat channels,
So next
and
year,
things
in the
like
beginning?
that. Areas
No,
of
this year.
improvement, though, like I said, going
Yeah,
back to
they're adding a
my mentioning
roguelike
of
mode to
reimagining
Hearthstone.
a lot of the UI, improvements to
Oh,
the Bound and
okay.
lobby. So
I haven't played
we're trying
Hearthstone
to
since
get
it
some
launched,
things like
so
improving like how you browse.
I like that one even
server
better than
games.
Marvel Duel.
Like
but
so when you're
I
looking
fell
at
off
a game
after
to
a while.
join,
hard to keep up.
and typing passwords and things like that. That's the kind of area we're trying to see.
Without the gotcha aspect? Yeah, I get it.
Making sure you can browse normal games, nightmare
At least
games,
Marvel
and
Duel will
hell games
let you
until
keep up.
graduate to the
If you
higher
keep playing, that
difficulty.
is.
I'm sure you've known that.
There's nothing worse than accidentally killing Bale in Nightmare when you're trying to do Nightmare Bale runs and you're like, I can't find any of the games anymore for Nightmare Bale runs.
But you can if you log into a separate character.
Right, you go to a separate character and then look at
that was
it.
kind of our logic, right? Since there are workarounds there, that made it easier for us to make the decision of allowing some of those things. Another change.
Oh yeah,
is
when you
also
killed a player,
looking
you got to
into,
keep their ear, player
reducing
ears. That's
ladder
why that's in
seasons
Diablo 4.
overall. So right now, ladder seasons in Diablo 2 are 6
You
months.
remember that too,
and we're looking at
Gresh,
reducing
right?
that as well to help have more.
Yeah, I talked about that
engagements,
earlier on the D4 panel.
And kind of
I
drive
just
more
made that
incentives,
connection,
too. You know,
how
6
you-
months is a
when
long
PvP
time.
and D2 you keep
and
people's
we're looking
ears.
into like if we make it shorter, we could probably have greater beats.
Diablo
throughout the year
2
as
is
well
infinitely
as
better than Diablo 3
seeing
Alchemy.
people strive harder for getting like that to that level 99, right?
So, is there going to be any reward change on that, or will it just simply be, the same standard? You get to 99, you're 99 on that leaderboard, and I mean that's a giant reward in itself. But I don't know if there's any other piece go up on the Battle.net website or something.
We're not looking into adding anything beyond what the game really did, but in some ways there will be some things that kind of come out of because of what we changed. So we have the leaderboard, right, where you can see each class going to level 99. There are easier ways to filter through that. And we're also looking into saving that, right? So you can always look back to previous seasons as well. So in a way, we're creating that kind of legacy now that has kind of been dropped.
This might be
in the past.
something cool too. Going
That's
for
one
building
advantage.
characters for
Kind of your
leaderboards,
names could be
Chris.
there in the legacy if you look in the past.
I mean, I think that would be cool enough.
Yeah, it just takes so much
anything to
time.
Keep it there as like forever, like
Yeah,
this was
getting
season
99
1,
was
season
a pain
2,
in the
you know.
ass.
Like that's when I got my 89. Because I know a lot of people like to go and reflect kind of on their old characters and pushes and stuff like that.
Character expiration will not be a thing anymore, by the way.
Ooh.
Due to modern Battle.net integrations, we do not have to. You will not have to worry about refreshing your character, so they will stay with you.
Awesome. Will there be anything different with like character names then, if that's the case?
Oh, yeah. So this was one that we talked about for a very, very long time. So
yeah,
because we
definitely I'm
are
gonna be
moving
streaming this on
to
Twitch,
global
tactical.
servers, and we have cross progression, we will allow duplicate names because with everyone being in the same thing across all consoles and all platforms and other things like that, you would very quickly bump into duplicates like day one. And so we are allowing duplicate names. However, they will also be appended with your gamer tag or your Battle.net ID or other things like that, so that you are still unique. But this also allows us for people to play the game quicker because we can autofill in your name.
So no release date on D2 Remastered?
Rob touched on it a little bit, but another mention
Just 2021.
was going to global servers as well. So
Okay.
this is a new thing we're doing where the concept of US West, US East, Asia regions, and EU are no longer going to be a thing.
Endgame has less to do in
terms of,
Diablo
like,
2. It's all about
being on
optimizing your
separated
character
servers. So
to do
now,
things better and
for the
faster.
push for a global
Like, there's
play
no
with
rifts
Diablo
or
2,
anything
you
like
can now
that.
be able to join across
PvP was
around the
infinitely
world.
better in
I think that's a
D2.
fantastic
Yeah,
change. That's always
PvP
been
was
one
way
of the,
better,
like,
so that
saddest
was
parts is like
you would
they're on EU and
build
I'm on
characters to
US
magic
East,
find
and
to
then my
run
other
you through the
friend's on
game to
US West, and
optimize
it's
your
like,
other characters that you'd end
how
up
do we
using
get us
for
all
PvP.
together? You know, like okay,
magic
somebody has to
finding.
make a sacrifice
PvP
there.
was so good in Diablo 2.
And so that seems like a really positive change. So far, you guys are killing it. I'm loving all. I mean, absolutely. I just want to say, like, I'm loving all of the changes and all of the decisions that have been made. It feels like you're really respecting the integrity of the game, but really bringing in a lot of that quality of life
sketchy.
Because Diablo 2 just
Mail
had
runs,
some of those
Bethesda
pain
runs,
points like
Niflok
muling
runs.
and separate servers and all of that. So I just want to throw that out there really quick.
There's a lot of love and care going on into this. Like we're very passionate about Diablo 2. You know, I can even give you a little anecdote.
It did have an
when I
expansion, Cryo Walker,
started on the team.
Cryovoid. It's going to be included in this remake.
I was asking around too. Naturally, as a designer, I want to know as much as possible about this game. in order to make good decisions on a remaster. So I asked around, like, what kind of files and leftover archives do we have from before, from Blizzard North? And I was told, like, I was given some, and like this, I was told that was it, which I quickly disbelieved, because I like to just do my own little digging arounds to find out things. So I dug around a lot in a lot of archives, and I looked around in different teams as well, because naturally a game from 20 years ago, people have moved on different teams, and like where has data moved around across our other games across Blizzard. So it was within folders, I like to say, that I found a lot of old source files from Diablo 2. A lot of things, like within folders of saying stuff we should archive. And there was a lot of stuff to archive indeed, because there are a lot of things, like we're talking like model source files, old tools that Blizzard North used to create like the sprites and things like that. All these things I spent months and months organizing and
looks so good,
communicating that out to the team and help and getting Blizzard library team and other people to help out too, to help share as much information as possible, which helps a lot with when we're adapting some of these models and whatnot and making new art out of it, because, you know, sometimes those pixels aren't good enough, and if we have some kind of source model to look at, if we have it, now we can make even closer decisions.
On that day when he found that, I think that really helped me greatly. Like, we sent all of that imagery, even the models, I think we sent over to the outsource teams and different art teams, which they used as like a stepping stone. The only piece of art we actually reused one-to-one were Tyrael's wings. So we actually took the Tyrael wings from the old Max file and then just repurposed that for hours. Like, we did very little work, very little modernization of that. We just made it work. But yeah, we did follow a lot of the rules that the old game actually used. For like another example is the succubus, in which I think the old Blizzard North model, they reused the assassin mesh for the body, and we did the same thing. We use our assassin mesh for the succubus.
Yeah, a lot of fun discoveries that we're actually kind of making the same decisions on in interesting ways.
Dude,
another example too,
good.
like, is
an upgrade.
Because we found a lot of stuff. There's a lot of old texture files for some environments on the game. So another example is like the walls you see in the Act 2 tombs with those kinds of like paintings on them. Are the same textures we're using, because we found the source files for those. Any
symbology we have questions on, we always like jump into that archive, try to find some kind of source or reference or something, and we just reuse it as much as possible. We want this to be as true as possible.
That could even carry over to the cinematics too, you know, like a lot of the cinematics cover the same.
I want to see one of the cinematics.
Like Talrash's tomb with Bale in front of it, and there's all those runes going on behind him. Finding sources like that to try to match as much as possible was a goal, and I'm glad to say we did find those kinds of things and are matching it very well. So it's helping our cinematics too.
There was even concepts we repurposed. Like, we found a couple concepts that were amazing from 20 years ago, the Bloodhawk and the Bloodhawk Nest, and we used that completely to rebuild our new asset.
I mean, that's fascinating. I feel like I could just sit here for hours and hours, days, as you guys talk through every single thing you found in the source files.
I could too. I'm still organizing it to this day. I still could find something that could work out. As I put it, I'm very meticulous with this stuff because I love it so much. You know, I'm putting, like, categorizing everything. Like, this is everything I found on War Eve. This is everything I found on the Greater Mummy Monster or Bale or something. And then if Chris comes to me and needs help with like some kind of way of identifying what parts of the creatures are or something, I even go through lengths of like seeing if I could open up those models. And actually re-rendering them out in a way that we could actually see it in higher detail and, like, you know, see like what, like, oh, the Greater Mummy is showing like part of his bone on his knee, so we should try to match that or something like that. And there's a lot of interesting stories and references that we actually used to create the new art by re-rendering models out to see everything.
Yeah, it was literally like video game archaeology, and even learning how parts of D1 were made, parts of the code that were commented out. Totally geek out on just all of the, you know, because it's a game that we all kind of grew up in, and a lot of us got into the games industry because of these types of games, and this game in particular, right? Like, and so it's almost like we're treating it like a classic car, right? Like, okay, it probably shouldn't run on leaded gas anymore, but you really
I would
can't change
assume
it, right?
if
You
they're
just
going
gotta
for
make
this
it,
core
you know,
approach
good
that
enough,
they're gonna keep the
even better,
8-person
you know,
lobbies
they remember and
that the
good
original
for another
game
20
used to
years.
have.
Yeah, and even like, you know, mention of Diablo 1 is very key too.
Diablo
like,
4
we
moved
look
down
at
to
Diablo
4
1 as
for
well, because
consoles.
naturally this being a sequel to Diablo 1,
But they
especially
better keep
within the
this
time
as
span
8-player.
of when it came, like Diablo 1.
In
you know,
which case we will
1996
be
and
playing
Diablo
with
2
viewers,
2000.
Alchemy.
A lot
We'll
of
have
things carried
8-player
over
worlds.
throughout development. So going back to see Diablo 1 and what it's like also helped us make decisions. Even some of the arts too, because like we discovered certain things we didn't even realize before until later down the line. Like an example is in the Chaos Sanctuary, you see a lot of statues with these black knights, and those are actually the same Chaos Knights you see in Diablo 1. So like sometimes some of the things I find, even source files from Diablo 1, were useful for us for reference, so we can make the new statues and things like that.
Even the sorcerer and the Act 3 hireling shared very similar models. Like it was just an addition helmet or a little bit of
Look at the old
chest,
model.
but that was really the difference.
You guys need to do a just like developer archaeology discussion at some point where you just sit down and talk through all of this, because this is like the most fascinating stuff I've heard. I mean, I've played so much Diablo 2 that I know so many intricacies of the game, but like when there's like more to be discovered, it's like, oh man, I'm like itching to know. So I would
That's
love
the funny
to
thing.
listen.
The funny thing is, like, you know, going back to our like core
wait to
philosophy of
watch
the game, like, you know, we
Gretsch laugh
wanted
as the
to
whole
keep
party dies
discovery
around
and
him.
the mystery and stuff. Because you keep discovering
Yeah,
things
the
all the
barbarian
time
leaping
when you play
away.
Diablo 2, like all these little hidden rules and information.
I'm gonna be the
It
barbarian
kind
and the
of
druid
carries that
with
fascination
tornadoes.
over through development as well. Like we find
Hurricane.
a lot of things in the code, design documents, models, things like that that were really fascinating to see, like how they were made. And yeah, I learned something new every day on the projects.
One thing, shifting back to the online play here, I know there's definitely going to be questions around security.
No,
how are we
ask about
handling
trading and
duping?
eight
How are we
players.
handling bots? How are we handling, you know, just anything around that, realm downs, and all of the disconnects and all of that good stuff that we deal with online? What's being taken, or what actions being taken there?
So moving over to modern BattleNet helps us with a lot of those types of things. To say it's, you know, Loctite, I wouldn't dare do that. That's like throwing a gauntlet down to the community to try to break it. But all of that should be far more secure now. Now, we do still allow you to play offline, right? You will need to authenticate that your copy is legit, but after that, you won't be bothered. And so there's a reason why we leave those characters quarantined away from online.
I mean, yeah, we have a server team working on it, and these are some of their efforts, right? We want to stop the bots, stop duping, as much
No
as possible.
duping
There's a lot
Stone
of
of Jordans?
strikes happening in the back end of things.
For currency?
So, I'm excited to play this game, and I'm sure a lot of other people are very excited. How can we sign up for this closed beta, and when will this game be coming out?
Actually, we're doing a technical alpha, and you can sign up on our webpage today for future waves of invites. As for the game itself, it will be releasing 2021.
Well, I just want to say thank you
I
to
didn't give
the
a date, damn it.
remastering team right
go
here.
sign up for
I
the alpha.
absolutely am blown away by
Sign up on
how
the
much
5.9
effort and how much
BattleNet
passion
account too.
you guys are putting into this game and just into Diablo 2. I've loved Diablo 2 for 20 years.
They're literally playing like the rogue
and
encampment
I
noise
never
in the
thought that the
background.
game
So-
could
so
get better.
satisfying.
But I think you guys are respecting the integrity while upgrading and adding and improving, and I think this is going to overall just better the game. So
The
thank
only
you
thing I
guys
didn't
so
ask
much.
was the
I
8-player
appreciate you
lobbies
having
and
me on
trading. How was
and
trading
for all of the
going?
hard work you've done.
Awesome, thank you. I mean, your praise means
Probably
the
still haven't
world
worked
to
it
us.
out
I mean,
at that
you're-
point.
You and people like you who keep the game going for 20 years, like that's, if you guys didn't do that, this might not be happening, right? We see the passion in what you do, in what your colleagues do, like,
All right, I
so
have to do it
thank
on my
you even
account.
more. And thanks for coming to do this. This was fun.
The icon even's updated.
So, yeah, this is gonna be amazing, dude. All the same moves. So good looking.
Not even death can save you from me.
pretty much it for today, I think.
Yeah, it's the whole show's wrapping up here in like 1 minute, 5 minutes, something like that.
You know, the original Diablo 2 is why I'm here at Blizzard today. One of my greatest gaming memories was when my brother and I played for 3 straight days to finish the entire D2 and expansion campaign when it first came out. Not only was it a special moment with my older brother, but ignited a passion within me for Blizzard games and is why being head of the Diablo franchise is so special now. Well, that's it for me. Thanks for joining us on the Diablo channel today. Together, the D4 team, the Immortal team, the D2R team, and the Diablo 3 team. Let's not forget about them. I mean, after all, we're getting double Treasure Goblins right now.
Can't wait for Diablo
We're all
2.
100% committed to bringing you even more adventures in Sanctuary at a whole new level and in ways you've never expected. I hope you're ready for it, but for now, keep watching as we close out day 1 of BlizzCon Line.
No. What is this? Don't start singing.
블리자드 팬 여러분, 저희가 세계적인 블리즈컨의 무대에 이렇게 찾아뵙게 돼서 정말 영광입니다.
It's subject to copyright protection by the applicable copyright holder. You might as well just mute it.
It's subject to copyright protection. Yep.
We'll just close it. We're done.
Let's make sure. Just make sure.
I think all of them are about to start playing the same musical performance. They're syncing up here.
Yeah, it's like the
the
closing, whatever the fuck.
End of show. Is Troko still going live here? Have anyone talked to him?
Mama Moo?
That's probably the name of the band.
Okay. So K-pop? Yeah.
It went from Metallica to this.
Right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh.
I don't understand K-pop. I really don't. I don't want to offend anyone because I know Twitter, K-pop army will destroy you under their might, but I just don't understand the appeal.
Yeah.
I think that's it for me. I don't really have anything else to add to this.
Nope. Time to end it.
The Dark Wanderer has returned. Deep dive panel. We literally saw everything Diablo related today. Like that's all we focused on pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, we watched some of the other stuff, but go away. I don't even want to show the visuals in case they're copyrighted.
Auto gold pickup is good too.
Oh yeah.
Nalar, are you still trying to do this WandaVision thing tonight?
Yeah, in like an hour and a half. I can't be there though. I gotta take care of some stuff. But the other guys will watch it.
How are you skipping out on all these discussions? You gotta. You're a big Marvel fan. You can't be busy. What do you have to go do? Reschedule.
I already saw it. I just have no. I have a thing with my brother. I gotta take care of stuff with him.
I mean, I already saw the episode too, but I mean, you're not gonna do the discussion either.
I can't. I'm gonna be busy for this like hour and a half, 2 hours. So.
Why don't you just do the discussion as soon as you're done?
By the time I'm done, you guys will be done a long time afterwards.
Yeah, well, they might need to go to bed. You know me.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, so I'm super stoked. Diablo Immortal even looked fun, but if it comes down to me playing Diablo 2 or Diablo Immortal, I mean, obviously I'm going to sink my time into Diablo 2 and not, because it's going to be a grind on both games, right? I don't have the time to grind both of them.
2 you already know is good, so.
Yeah, and it looks amazing.
What did they mention anything about Diablo Immortal? Like release date or anything, or just more updates?
No.
They're gonna have more. They're gonna have like a beta or something.
They're doing a longer test to test more endgame stuff.
Yeah. So D2 remastered, Diablo Immortal, and I'm sure there was something about D4.
I'm mega excited.
2024.
Yeah. D4, they talked about another class. They're adding the rogue back from D1. They talked about customizability of your character, like different outfits, skin tones, hairstyles. Build the character that you want.
The rogue class is coming.
Yeah, they showed off like how you can imbue your weapons with like poison or darkness or different elements, kind of like how your mercenary in D2 would like fire the ice arrows if you bought that mercenary or whatever.
Yep.
They showed off it throwing a bunch of caltrops around, so doing some of the stuff that the Demon Hunter did from Diablo 3 and Diablo 2, the assassin with the traps and shit. They didn't really talk much more about like the actual game of Diablo 4. Everything they mentioned was pretty much about the rogue. Like, did you
the class itself? So we've got what? Rogue, sorcerer, and barbarian, and druid, right? That's 4.
Confirmed, yeah.
4 confirmed. Okay.
There's gonna be more. Did you pick up anything else about Diablo 4? Just like general thoughts about it, Gresh, or was it just mostly all rogue stuff?
Mostly just the rogue stuff. They had camps. They said where like when you like explore the world or whatever, you like liberate camps and stuff. Actually, was that? I can't even remember. Was that Immortal or 4?
I think that was
kind of blended together.
I think it was 4. I can't remember either now. I think it was Immortal. Immortal was the one where they're talking about where there's like time gates, like legends on your progression. It's not time gate, but it's like you experience. You need more levels and shit. And during that gated period, there's a bunch of different side activities for you to go do, like exploring the instance dungeons and, like Gresh said, going across the overworld, freeing people.
Dude, you can tell that game's not coming out for a long time.
Yeah.
Because they didn't even say the year it was coming out in yet.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. I'll be right back.
Well, we're not really going to play anything right now, chat, because Troco's supposed to take over at 9 p.m. to play something on PS5 for 3 hours. I guess.
Like Persona 5, some Strikers. Persona 5
is that
Strikers.
what it is? Oh, PS5 is Persona 5. I thought it meant PS5 like PlayStation 5. Okay.
No, Persona 5 Strikers, yeah. But,
I tagged him. He was in here earlier for like a second, and then he disappeared.
Yeah, we won't be able to stream Nas, I don't think. Because right after Troco, it's Waffles, and then right after Waffles, it's Gale, so... Oh, well. Bummer. Oh, I gotta get Digimon. Well, we can still play until...
Waffles doesn't take over till 3 a.m. If Troco ends at midnight, we still have 3 hours right there.
No, midnight PST. Which would be midnight is when Waffles starts also. 3 p.m. or 3 a.m. your time.
Troco's playing for 6 hours?
No. Troco starts
at 9 p.m.
So for
Eastern.
me, at 9 p.m. Eastern to 3 a.m. Yeah, right?
All it says is 9 p.m. Oh, okay. Yeah, so he's in 6 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, Waffles 3 to 5 a.m. Overwatch. Project. What the hell is Project Triangle?
I have no idea.
Sunday, True Forward, Genshin. I guess I should add in a block for us on Wednesdays, too. Yep. Well, alright, we'll see what happens. I guess I'm waiting on Troco to respond here.
Well, if he's not here in 30 minutes, we could take over.
Yeah, if he doesn't, well, it gives me time to run to the store. I'm assuming he'll be here, because he was in here last night talking about it, but... In the meantime, since this is its own little cut-up VOD, I don't want to, like, start playing a game on the end of this in case they port this over to YouTube.
Yeah.
Who is raidable? We'll throw some
Raid the BlizzCon stream.
Raid the BlizzCon.
I don't know. Who else is even on right now?
Riku, Jdantastic, Nanogenics, that Stephanie Stone girl, and those
Raid Nano.
Nano?
Yeah.
What do you say, chat? You want to raid? He's playing 7 Deadly Sins.
Just do it.
What, you don't like Green Meliodas?
I don't like 7 Deadly Sins.
Wait, Gale's live?
No. Not on my...
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
You're not friends with the Gale? What the fuck?
I'm logged into the 5-9 account.
Oh, follow Gale.
Yeah, raid into Gale.
I've already started the Nano raid.
Oh, okay. Well, that's your fault.
Well, rip.
It's already... It's not my fault. Y'all didn't know. It's not my fault. Why are we not following Gale? All right.
Now, you're the person who's logged into the account like 98% of the time.
Yeah, but I don't know everything. I'm not omnipotent. Where's?
Oh, I thought aren't you the toy boss? Isn't that what it is?
Hold on. Where's? Yeah, but you still have to feed me information. Bosses run, you know, like organizations. Hold on. I'm not organized.
I know who that is.
So I gotta go follow Gale.
Hey,
Because
jokes
whatever
aside,
reason
I
we're
just
not
messing with people. I appreciate
following him.
What is this again? I didn't even see.
Lead to doom. He's live for 4 hours. Is he still gonna be live for a while?
My boy Garfield. Thank you so much for the follow, 5-9 Gaming. You guys didn't follow me. Wild, bro. Imagine not following the homie, bro. Nah, I'm just joking. Best comedy? I'd say probably Kaguya-sama, hands down. I don't know who followed. How long will I be live for? Probably until the anime awards. Another hour 20.
Okay, he said he'll be live for another hour or so. So yeah, we can raid into
Ohio. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it.
I didn't want to raid
So
into
another
if he was
hour
gonna
20
end in
probably.
like 2 seconds.
That's why I said I'll be busy in the Discord.
Hit refresh.
This is where it has to win. Easy.
Bro, it's not adding him to the list. What the fuck?
Nas at it again and be like that, bro.
There we go. Gale, right. There we go.
Hey, let's go. Bro, I'm just
Alright, we're starting it up again. Had to cancel the Nano raid.
I'm just good. I'm good. Kaguya's winning the awards I wanted to. I'm happy. And Tony Kawa got one.
Yoink.